Hey, this is Ben, co-founder of Heavy Metal Therapy, a community interest company dealing with the heavy metal culture, mental health, and try and strengthen a little bit around both of them. But we're going to talk about that in a bit. And I am here on Heavy Mental Breakdown, and I'm very happy to be so.
Yeah, hell yeah, you're on heavy metal breakdown, dude. Dude,
Yeah,
so all right. So you're a couple hours, like 2 or 3 hours away from London. So where
yeah.
in the UK are you located at right now?
So I'm located in an area called Norfolk, which is like east.
Norfolk.
He's in Norfolk. So Norfolk, and it's been very funny. But I'm
We
actually
we we
from
have a
West London.
Norfolk in Virginia, which is about 5 hours away from me, so
You
you're
do.
not you're
Well,
not too far off.
yeah, you live in New York. I used to live down the road from Old York. So
Have you ever been to New York before?
but I haven't. And do you know what? I've been
You
invited this year.
haven't.
No, we did a conference this year, and there's a guy who's a clinical psychologist, and he had like a PhD in recovery and mental health stuff. And he invited us over, and we also met a couple of guys from Boston who were
Oh,
they were
Boston.
there they
Hell
were there to
yeah.
do like mental health stuff, but also they were in like a hardcore band, and that was their passion. I
Oh.
was like, these guys are fucking cool.
Well,
Yeah, so
what was their name? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I don't
Dude,
remember much, but
Boston though,
I got their
Boston
number.
has an amazing music scene. I'm actually going to be there this weekend
Yeah.
because
Oh
I'm
man.
going to go see Mudvayne at their 25th year anniversary of their first album LD50. So I'm super stoked about that. I love
That is
Mudvayne so
cool.
much, and they're not playing in New York for whatever reason.
No.
So I'm just like, all right, well, I got to go out to Boston to see him. So that's where I'm going to be this
It's,
weekend.
is next month kind of like the retro month thing? Because I'm going to see across the road from me are actually playing um, Drowning Pool are playing, supported by
Oh,
Spineshank and the band I love, Head PE. So
that's cool.
and they're
That's
literally
going to
like
be a
three
rough show.
3 minutes from my house, and I'm like,
3 minutes.
I'll take it. 3 minutes from my house. I live across from university, and it gets a lot of decent gigs. So yeah,
All right, all right. Yeah, no, I've never seen those bands, but I've seen Mudvayne before, and I'm a
yeah,
big fan, so I'm super stoked to see them.
amazing.
But like you said in your intro, you're with a company called Heavy Metal Therapy.
Yeah,
How long
yeah.
have you been with Heavy Metal Therapy, and what do you guys like? What are you trying to do with it? Like, what's your goal?
What's the goal? So I've been with for about 6 years. The whole thing's been
Six
running
years
for about
now.
7. And it kind of started with a conversation on a mental health ward between two health professionals, Kate and Angela, the founders.
Kate and
And
Angela. Okay.
yeah, and one of them saw the other wearing a Slipknot t-shirt, hoodie,
Hell
as they
yeah.
went out. And they were like, "You're my friend." And they became good friends. And then
Isn't
we
it
sort of
so
started,
funny how sometimes that is so randomly you'll just see like metalheads around and you'll be like,
yeah.
I don't know you, but I already know that we're gonna get along pretty
I did it at the
well.
weekend. There was a guy. I got my battle vest. And I've got a machine head thing at the back, and
Hell yeah.
he just went. He's pointing back, went, "Aesthetics I hate," and I was like, "Yeah, bro, we're gonna be friends forever now." And he's gonna come watch the gig with me. So
Hell
that's
yeah,
how
that's
that's
great.
how we
That's great.
are.
I love how you know it's so funny. Like I love how heavy metal has this really tight knit community.
Yeah,
And it's like we all kind of get each other. We all know what each other likes, what we listen to, what kind of lyrics we like, what kind of bands we're into, and we see each other at all the shows. And so when there's already so much of a community of like going to shows and hanging out with your friends and making friends and going to other shows with them, what made you want to be like, you know what? Like I think it would be really cool to create a community called Heavy Metal Therapy, where we get all these people together and kind of just talk about mental health. Like, what made you think of that thought when there's already so many like metalheads already kind of connecting together?
I think it was. It's like because we discussed before we start recording. This big fucking studded elephant in the room is that metal's got a big connection to mental health,
Yeah,
and
crazy.
yet we don't really talk about. And we'll talk about the lyrics, talk about the bands, we'll talk about like that, and the bands will be very open to talking, but we don't really make the connection. And I think what really
That's
annoys
true.
me is when people who aren't metalheads don't get it,
Yeah, they
and
don't. They
they
don't
don't
get it
seem
at
to
all.
get what we get out of it. And I think this was our way of putting a bit of a framework behind why the metal community is so good, why it's so supportive, why it's a tribe. It's a tribe. We're our own culture. If
Yeah,
you think about it,
yeah,
we were like we've literally just met, Matthew. We didn't like we haven't existed in the same part of time. We don't have relatives that I know of, but we share a very similar culture, you and I.
yeah. We
This
do.
this this is our culture, man. And I think I think the same example. If I lived in the Middle East and I went to other Middle Eastern countries, and I met other people who dress like I dress, I'd be like, "Inshallah, brother,
Yeah,
I
you're
get you. I
like
get you."
I understand exactly what you're going through and what you get and
Yeah,
what you like, and I connect with
yeah.
you. So what made
We make this
you
easy.
kind of what made you put that connection of like mental health with those metalheads that you were meeting? Like what made you be like, you know what? Yeah, we connect, we like the same music, but when it comes to like mentally and like being on the same level, like what made you want to be like, you know what? I feel like there's something bigger than me.
I think for me personally, it was always there. I think it came from conversations. If you ever meet or talk to Kate or Angela, or get me in the right mood, because I'm an ex-health professional, but I'm now essentially a patient. So I've kind of flipped some roles a little bit. We get really enthusiastic talking about
Mm,
mental health. We get really enthusiastic talking about metal. So it all just fucking bleeds
yeah.
into it anyway. And what's been really great about heavy metal therapy is all that training, all that knowledge that we've had, we've just thrown that aside. It's all about the community. The community's input is far more important than I mean, our co-founders are mental health nurse and lecturers. We've got a trainee clinical psychologist, so that'll be a doctor of psychology, and we've got an already accomplished and very very accomplished clinical psychology who is a doctor of psychology. We don't care about that. Yeah, it's
Mm.
the community. The community's the
Oh.
therapy. The community's the power. The stories people tell are the really important thing, and that's where I came in because I kind of saw a Facebook group, and then I saw the web page start to form, and they were looking for stories, and I I've been pretty mental through, but very high functioning through all my life. I think a lot of people I've got away with it because people are like, "Oh, he's a bit he's a bit alternative, he's a bit of a metalhead." So and he's I've always done quite strange jobs, so I think I've kind of got away with it for a lot of my life.
Yeah. They're
Just kind
like,
of
oh,
gone
this guy
through it.
likes like metal, so he's kind of just already on that like weird wavelength already. It's
It's
weird, man,
Ben.
because like
He's climbing
me,
buildings again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, me too. When I was in middle school, like I was the only one kind of like going to school in like Hot Topic clothes, like wearing Slipknot and Mudvayne and System of a Down,
Yeah,
wearing the
the
spikes,
chains, the
like
weather
the
chains.
chain, like the
Oh, I
trip,
miss.
like the trip
Yeah.
shorts and pants with like the chains and everything. Like nobody understood where I was coming from at all,
Mm.
at all.
And then you meet the tribe,
And then you meet the tribe.
and that's it. And it's trying to get that feeling that like I had when I was like your equivalent to high school, where I'd meet people like Steph and Daisy and Steve and Charlotte, and I'd see them wearing like band t-shirts, and I was like, oh, what's that band? And, a buddy of mine, I remember I worked with a buddy of mine, he just sneaked up behind me and put headphones in my ears while I was working, and just blasted Slipknot, and I was just like, you've seen Lilo and Stitch, that bit where like Stitch is a bit of a mess, and then they put the headphones on Stitch, and he goes like, oh, and he was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
calm the fuck down. He like lies on the floor, and he was just like, yeah,
yeah.
it was like Elvis to
Yeah.
Stitch, and I was just like, fuck me, I've got so much in common with these people.
Fuck me, I've got so much in common.
Yeah, and we just wanted to get that feeling in
Yeah.
our growing community, which is growing, and we've got many people following us. We've now got masses of. I'm now pulling back from doing. A few of us are now pulling back from doing face-to-face stuff. So we're now
Mm.
managing volunteers, which is it's amazing. Like before, there was like the four of us, and now we're having to split our entire organization into sections. So I'm managing like the media part of it.
Oh,
So I'm
interesting.
interviewing bands. I'm taking interviews like yourself quite kindly. We're writing books, stuff like that. But I've now got
Amazing.
people under me because we've had so much input, and it's anyone's welcome to input. You want to write us a story, you want to add to our playlists, you want to share your stuff. That's great. That's what the whole thing is about.
Yeah.
We're starting. We've got. I think we're on our ninth group in the UK in person, and we've got a tenth group. This is a support group which runs online. If anyone wants to start a group, we're franchising it. We'll send you the t-shirt. We'll send you all the stuff.
How many
Give you
people
the
are
training.
in
Just go
your
do it. Just do it.
how many people are in your group right now?
So the actual groups to attend, or the people helping us.
The people who are reaching out, wanting to be part of the community.
We've got. Jesus, I'd have to look through the list, but we've got at least 30 to 40 people helping, and helping in different ways. Like I I would just crash every spreadsheet you gave me. I'm so disorganized, but we have wonderful
Good.
people who are like, all I want to do is organize people. I want to do the training. I want to get spreadsheets of volunteers and where you guys are at. And I'm like, I love you. You're my friend. So
Yeah.
it's whatever people wants to come in and do. My buddy Matt, who joined us, he's got his own page, Matt's Rock and Roll Stories. He goes to loads of gigs. There's like 2 or 3 a week, and he kind of writes his reviews and does a lot of writing. He's joined me on like the weekend because he's got this encyclopedic knowledge about like metal that's phenomenal. We did an interview um, with about thrash metal recently. He was like, oh, I don't really know much about thrash. And in interviews, he was sort of talking to this guy. And then he was just coming out Eric Crane, who wrote about. He wrote about thrash in the Bay Area because he was there when like a
Oh,
lot of thrash bands
that's cool.
started. Yeah,
I'm actually from
so
the Bay Area. I
awesome.
was just talking to
No,
someone. I
yeah.
was literally just
Oh,
talking to who was I talking to? I want to say I was talking to a band called Hollow Wake, and the lead
yeah.
singer Ben is from um, Livermore, and I'm from San Jose, which is only like a half hour, 40 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy how that there was Bay Area folk in there.
And that's the coolest thing because we
Yeah,
get to collect all these stories. I mean, Eric was the author. Eric was around when he met Exodus. He had beers with Exodus. He saw Metallica when they were first starting out, when they were just
amazing.
being kids.
That's so cool. I
Yeah,
mean, being
and you're
from the
like,
Bay Area, I've seen Metallica like in San Francisco, San Jose, because that's where they're from. So they play shows
yeah,
here all the time. I
I love
love
it
it.
when bands
That's
do
so
that.
cool. Yeah, when
Mm.
they
I
stay
really
true
like,
to like where they're from and where they're
yeah,
at and where their roots are at. I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
I really like While She Sleeps, and they're from the north of England, an area called Doncaster, which is
Are they
not a
really?
common
I didn't know they
place.
were from England. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they're Sheffield. My favourite songs, that one of my favourite songs actually, Seven Hills, is about leaving Sheffield, which is something I did a few years ago, and it's about like leaving all your friends behind to do something else, and it's kind of like quite
Okay.
bittersweet. It's like we've had some great times, but it's sad to be leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they played
Yeah,
in
we can all
Doncaster, which is
relate to
not,
that for sure.
yeah, like no one plays in Doncaster. It's like it's not the place you go, but it's their hometown, so they were like, "Fuck it, we're going to put on a show because this
Yeah.
is our roots. This is where we're
That's
from. We're
cool.
going to do this."
I love
Yeah,
when bands do that. They'll go back to their roots and play in their hometown, and no matter how big or small it is, they'll go back.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah. It's great. It's great. But yeah, so we kind of we tried to take that sort of that energy, that tribal energy, that meeting people up, that getting really excited, that swapping music, and turn it into something that's initially internet based. And everything we did was internet based for a while, but now we're like out in the wild. and we're doing stuff face
So,
to face,
so
which
you
is
talk
great.
about internet base. Is that kind of like
Mm.
a? Is it kind of like a Discord kind of thing, a group chat kind of thing? Like, where can people go to be like, you know what? I really want to be a part of this community with other metalheads. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Like, where would somebody go for that?
Well, first of all, come get the details. If you go to Heavy Metal Therapy website, which is the top of the list for Google, we actually beat, because heavy metal therapy is something which is an alternate therapy used for autism, where you introduce heavy metals into the body. So fuck those guys. We beat them. And we,
Yeah, fuck those guys.
yeah, because you know what? It's perfectly fine to be neurospicy. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
So we were at the very top of that. So heavy metal therapy were the first ones to come in. You'll see the brain sign, and
love the
we've got
shirt.
lots
Love
of
the shirt.
different things to do. If you want to get
Yeah,
involved with, we've got you can if you just want to add your music playlist, we've got playlists for all sorts of problems. So we've got like a depression playlist, anger playlist, a hearing voices playlist, psychosis playlist. We've got a procrastination playlist. There's nothing on that, and then we've got like a little bit of everything. If you want to write stories and send them to you, if you want to run groups for us, send them to you. You know, if you want to come and see where people are,
yeah,
it's eventually we want it to be where it's acceptable to wear the t-shirt, and if you see someone wearing a t-shirt, you're at a gig,
yeah.
go up to them, say hi, chat. You know, if you're
Yeah,
having a hard time, go up to them, say hi.
yeah, you know, one of the things that I've realized through doing these interviews is that at the end of it, and it's funny, like not really too much like during the interview, but like after we're done recording and after, you know, we've chatted and now we're kind of just wrapping it up. A lot of bands would be like, "Hey man, you know, I love what you're doing. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
I
how
love what you do,
far
man.
I didn't realize how far mentally we have gotten until I talked to you."
Yeah,
And I love that. I love that people can talk to me and break down their song and just be like, I didn't know how much I needed this. And
yeah,
it's just talking to people, man. It's just and it's
right.
letting it out. It's letting it out on a platform that is a safe place and that you know you're safe to talk about these things. And some of these interviews that I've done have gone from like 45 minutes to up to almost 3 hours. And people love talking about their music because music is therapy. It
It
really
is.
is, Ben. And it's people are getting through their own trauma and their depression and other really bad thoughts by writing lyrics or writing a guitar riff or doing a drum roll or you know doing a bass line. And it's like it's so crazy how much music can save somebody. How
Yeah.
have you, so not from like a musician standpoint, but from somebody who wants to kind of get in this space, how have you seen it running this kind of company where people where they're not in a band but they love music and they just want to be part of the community, so separating the artist from the actual community itself? How has that been for you, just seeing just regular ordinary people who are just fans of heavy metal just wanting to be a part of something?
That's been amazing, and it's been really wonderful, and it's been infectious. It really has. And occasionally we'll do something which strikes a chord with someone. A friend of mine, we did. We do our own sort of podcasting, call it the Church Heavy Metal Therapy. It's a little bit of a plug there.
Hell
Uh,
yeah, hell
but
yeah, plug it all,
we
man. I
interview.
love you guys. You guys are great.
Yeah, we interview bands, we interview people with lived experience, we
That's
interview
amazing.
experts. Did you know you can do a PhD in death metal studies?
No, I had no clue.
Yeah, and there's like several
Death
people who've
metal
written
studies,
books.
that must be
Death
very
metals.
specific to a certain place, or can you kind of
Well,
do that online and just can do that anywhere?
yeah. We interviewed it's a couple of our friends of friends of us who've done, and they've written books. And because death metal and like Freudian psychology fucking hand in hand. You know,
Wow,
there's well
I
not
didn't
Freudian,
know
sorry,
that.
Jungian, yeah, because the idea of the shadow around you, the things that are the things that feel wrong but aren't quite wrong, and then going into horror and lyrics about horror, exploring horror
Yeah.
aspects, is really good. And
God.
that's what it's about. A lot of it's about. I'll get into why lyrics are important from a mental health point of view, but the community really want to talk about metal. We're all
They
really
do. They really
enthusiastic
do.
about it.
And I've noticed that just by bringing on
Yeah,
bands and be like, tell me about your song. Like I won't
yeah,
say anything for like 20 minutes and they're just chatting. But I love that though. I love that they feel like
yeah.
they have a space to just talk about how they fucking feel, man. It's
And
amazing.
it's
And I love that. And they always thank me afterwards. And I'm like, you know what? I always tell everybody, I'm like, this is your interview. Make it what you want and tell your story. Because that's what people want to hear. They don't want to fucking hear me talk. I'm nobody. I'm just asking people questions.
yeah.
But I love when
That's
people are breaking down their songs and breaking down their
yeah,
lyrics and be like, you know what? This song got me through 5 years of this really kind of manic, depressive place. And then when I release the song and I can sing it in front of an audience who are singing it back to me, it's the weirdest feeling in the world. And that's how a lot of these like vocalists and like guitar player and like front man of or front women of these metal bands who I'm interviewing are just like, it's a really weird turnaround. Like I'm going through this really bad place. I literally want to kill myself. I'll write down these lyrics and how I'm feeling. I'll record it, bring it to my band. We'll break it down. We'll record it together. We'll do it live. And then now we're on a podcast talking about it. It's like 8 different steps to even get to a place where
yeah,
you can talk about it. That's
yeah.
crazy to me, man. And that's when
It's
I
talking.
realized there's something here. There's something about lyricists talking about their lyrics. There's
Mm.
something there. And it's a great thing. It's
When
awesome.
we do I call recovery college, recovery colleges in the
Recovery
UK.
college.
No, actually, recovery colleges is worldwide. I stand corrected. Um, and one of the things they do is tell your story, and it's tell your
Yeah.
story any way you want. And it's there's a real trick to it. And I tell you, there's a trick to it. I told my story as we recorded a podcast, which is my story, and
Yeah, I would love to hear your story.
oh no! Within a few weeks, I was with a crisis mental health team. I was just like,
Mm.
oh, that was the it triggered me really bad.
Dude, me too. Me too. I mean,
Yeah,
I can go
you've
back
been
to a
through
place
that in
where
your
I
life.
was in a mental facility for
Yeah,
multiple days on like watch down.
yeah, because people are just freaking out about you, and you're
Yeah.
freaking out because it's always
Fucking
been here
freaking
and it
out,
seems
man.
that. But the music and the lyrics and the way you do that, it's a nice. It's a nice little filter. It's almost like
Yeah.
filtering through charcoal, isn't it? You filter out all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
It's still there, and you still got to deal with that
It's
shit.
still there.
But lyrics
It's
are really good
important to
for
stay there though,
yeah,
because it's a place where you can pull from. Like once you're out of that place, then that place that you can go back to,
yeah,
yeah, it hurts and there's pain there, but there's also pride in it too. Where like, you know what, I got through that, and I was able to write a song about it, and now I've recorded it, and now it's a
mm,
single on our album, and now it's out, and we're singing it in front of a crowd who are singing it back. That
yeah.
is that's fucking wild, man. I can't
And
even imagine
how
what that feels like.
how many genres of music could you do that in? Now, the example I always give of this is
That's a good
1994.
question.
Fantastic
That's an
for me
amazing question.
as a nearly middle-aged man. Um,
How old are
that
you?
was a good year for me. So I'm 43.
You're 43. Okay, I'm
So
35.
yeah, so 1994, fantastic. Loads of really good bands, and Korn released their first album. Absolutely wonderful. Korn
Fucking love. I just saw
released.
them like 3 months ago, like 3
Oh
months
no!
ago. They opened up for System of a Down here in New York, and it was a fucking amazing show.
So Korn released "Daddy," a song
Mm.
about childhood sexual abuse, and not about the actual abuse itself, but not being the shame and not being believed and being told shut up and threatened and how
I
that
have
felt.
so much respect for
And
Jonathan Davis
yeah,
from what he's gone through, man.
that went platinum.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Mariah Carey released "All I Want for Christmas Is You" in the same year. Now, I think, and I know because they've done it, Korn could do a banging Christmas song. I don't think Mariah Carey could do a song about not being believed about child sexual abuse and the shame around it that would be as big
Interesting.
and impactful
I've
as that.
never put those two together before.
Yeah, but it's so metal in a way can handle a lot of subjects very well in its
It
stride
can.
that a lot of other
Yeah,
genres can't do.
absolutely.
And don't be wrong, like punk will do the same. Our
Yeah.
cousins in hip hop will do the same. And country manages some
Oh
great
my
dark
god.
stuff.
There's
But
so
metal,
much
metal
emotion in
just doesn't.
country.
Yeah, metal doesn't break its stride when it's doing it. It just fucking goes for it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we all accept it. And it's fine. It's great. And
Yeah.
that level of honesty and that level of brutal honesty needs to translate into our everyday lives.
I agree. So so Ben, what is your story?
I think I've always felt safest and I've always felt healthiest around the alternative crowd. And I know
Like
other
going to
people.
concerts or just social media
Yeah, I
or
mean,
just all of it?
so we used to go to, I'm on my first sort of thing was there was a real like scuzzy club called Alcatraz in Leicester, and which is in the
Alcatraz.
Midlands.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm actually from the Bay Area. I'm from like the San Jose, San Francisco area. So
yeah,
I've been to Alcatraz.
I mean,
Sorry, go ahead.
it was the kind of club that the bar had like JD bottles but side by side, every brick. They had a skate ramp in it. There was a whole there
That's
was a
amazing.
whole
That's so
men's
cool.
toilets
Yeah,
that actually
yeah.
went down to the street. So we used to, well, use your
Sure.
imagination. So, and when I went there, everyone was so fucked up, Matthew. Everyone was so fucked up, and we're all a mess.
Mm.
But we're all a
Like on
mess.
drugs, alcohol, both,
There were there were a lot of people on
everything.
drugs, a lot of people out, lot of people had a lot of trauma, and we were all like the traumatized kids. And this is
Yeah.
back in a time where you were still demonized massively for being alternative.
Mm.
We used to have to meet together in the
You,
clock tower.
okay, interesting. Hold on. So you say you were
Yeah,
you said demonized for
yeah.
what you were into.
Yeah, I think it was a time when people
Huh.
you go around the towns and if you didn't look like everyone else, there was you get a lot of aggro.
I remember when I was like in middle school, elementary school, and just like wearing Corn T-shirts and like Limp Bizkit T-shirts of Slipknot and
Yeah,
Mudvayne, and just like people asking me like who is that? Like who are you even listening to? Because it
yeah,
wasn't top 40, it wasn't top 30, 20,
no,
10, or nothing. Like no one knew who this was, and so everyone was listening to the same thing. So when this like crazy kid comes along with like spiked hair and like the spiked pyramid bracelet from Hot Topic and stuff. Like it was a weird, like you were a weird kid, and that's how I was
yeah,
when I was in
yeah,
middle school. Is that
yeah.
what you're saying that you were like when you were kind of going through this?
Yeah, I think because I didn't really
Interesting.
dress particularly metal for a while, but we all
How
kind of met
come?
together and got to know each other. I think, well, like I say, where I grew up, we were very it was a very xenophobic kind of place. We used to meet all in one spot at the same time because people would throw bottles at you or start you in the
Interesting.
street.
Okay. I
So,
mean, that was
which
me, but just
is
by myself. People would just
yeah,
like
yeah.
throw shit at me and try to spit on me and try to run me over on their bikes because I was
Yeah,
singing
which
Slipknot.
is why I was personally I always love. There's always a bit of a thing in it, It's just like, should you be gatekeeping? Should you be gatekeeping? Should
Yeah.
people have to earn their place in the metal
Yeah.
community?
For sure.
My
100%.
thoughts were, if you're not throwing bottles at me, I don't fucking care, because that's what it was like for us back then. But when we had each other like pretty hard. Like I say, we're all a bit of a mess, and since then, all my friends have either been massive nerds,
Yeah.
neurospicy, or metalheads, or more likely all of the three together.
Well,
Mellowborn. It's a
that's
real
one thing
crossover.
that I love about this community is that we are all
Mm.
nerds. We are
Yeah,
all nerds.
yeah, we're happy about
Either it's video game,
that.
fucking
Mm.
cards, or horror movies. Like for me personally, I am a horror movie nerd. I make horror movies.
It's also hard.
I write horror movies. I just put a horror
Yeah,
like a feature movie out. I'm
we should
shooting
talk about it
another one.
sometime.
Good.
Oh yeah.
I'm shooting another one in Salem because I'm in New York right now, and
Oh yeah.
Salem,
Yeah,
Mass
I
is
used to
only like
saw
5
you.
hours away from me.
Oh
And so I'm
man,
actually shooting
yeah,
a witch movie. I just shot the first trailer for it. But I'm a big
yeah,
horror movie nerd.
yeah,
And so like when you find these nerds and you find these places, it's like, man, like I understand you. I get you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
people are craving for that community. They really are.
They are, they are,
And
and
so
we're
with
hoping to provide it.
with companies like you guys and how big
Mm,
you are, how long you've been around, and how much you do, man, that's awesome that you guys are able to,
yeah,
like bring these people in who think that they don't have a place in life and
one
outside
of
of
the
their
nicest.
and like outside of their friend group to just be
Yeah,
themselves. And that's what you guys
one.
are. And that's what we're trying to be at Heavy Mental Breakdown. We're
Yeah,
trying to be a place,
yeah,
a safe place where all these people with all these interests who maybe are a little interested on the dark side can come and just be like, you know what? I'm interested in this too. I love horror movies. I love this band. I love this genre. And these people are my family. They are who I feel the best with because those kind of people, they don't really have a place outside of the arts to do that and to
yeah,
have that.
yeah. You want, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
you want to
actually
try?
very sad, man. Because I mean,
Yeah,
I've been part of that too, where I've gone to
mm,
like horror conventions where I'm just like, I just want to be around people who like the same things that I do, and not
yeah,
feel like I'm just an outcast and feel like I'm just this weirdo in my friend group. I want to go somewhere who appreciates who I just am as a person, who can appreciate the way my mind thinks.
yeah.
And that's what people
Um,
and that's what people think when they go to you guys.
what we found, I want to do two things. One, do festivals, get yourself a stall.
Yeah.
Love that. It's a lot of work, but we've done things like Download Festival, which is one of the biggest ones in the UK, biggest
Oh, you
alternative
guys have
festival,
done Download
Bloodstock.
Festival. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we did Download this year.
That's amazing.
We did it alongside Raven Records. Big shout out to my mate Ben, um, who they Ben runs a cafe, which is also a sober bar in
Huh.
Camden, and Ben said invited us to come along to help him run. So it was him. It was him as an organisation, us as an organisation, and we ran the sober bar
Where's
cafe.
Camden? Where's Camden at?
Camden's London, man.
Oh, it's
Camden's
London.
London.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's yeah, and so we also ran groups every day. So people just wanted to pop in. People wanted to do. We did like metal yoga. We did rock fit stuff like that.
Metal
So loads of people.
yoga.
Yeah, it's a thing, man.
Really?
Amazing.
So is that in person or online where people
In
can kind of?
person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's an in person
I mean,
thing.
we do stuff online, but we've also done Bloodstock, which was we helped run the wellbeing tent for Bloodstock. We've had a stall there. Loads of festivals we've done because I don't know about you, but festivals, if you save up your money, you go see the bands you like, and you almost feel like you've got to have a good time at a festival,
Yeah.
you know, and it's especially if you're having a bad time, it takes a lot to get there. So seeing an organisation like ours or like yours if you did it, you know, where you can just go along and have a chat with someone, just be really enthusiastic,
Yeah.
go, oh, fuck, it's not just me. There's lots of people who've been like me. You know, half the time people just a bit of a smile, a bit of a laugh, and they just carry on their way. And I love doing the well-being. I'd have people coming up to me having conversations they've been wanting to have for a long time with people, but only came out when they were drunk, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm meant to be having a good time, you know, like the sugar's on at the moment, I'm not loving it." And then I'd have a chat with them. Because for the most part, I mean, anyone's therapist telling for the most part, it's the other person who does the work. You know, you're just there to facilitate it, and
Yeah.
that was a really cool experience. That was something we did. We loved our own festival eventually one year. Absolutely
Really?
loved
You
to
do
do that.
your own
Yeah.
festival one year?
No, I'd love to. We're so
Oh,
poor
you
at the
said you would
moment.
love
We
to.
we
Oh, okay.
no, we had a load of funding cut last year. So at the moment we're looking
Mm.
for funding but which is annoying because this is the time of the busiest we've ever been. So doing festivals has been absolutely wonderful. And the other bit, what you're saying, was your point on, is we actually have a huge neurodiverse following. I myself is I'm ADHD. Um,
Me too.
so yeah, and it's ADHD is great because you go from God mode to absolutely useless
Yeah.
in like the flick of a switch. And
Yeah.
but we have a lot of
Within a
people
second.
who
Yeah.
we say mixed diagnosis, and we do seem to attract that. I think metal attracts that because
Yeah,
there's that
it does.
absolute. You've got the intensity of the love of the subject,
Yeah.
followed back with the fact for a lot of time you either don't or are sick of giving a fuck about what the people think.
Yeah.
So to you, if you can walk around with your battle vest out, if you can walk around being yourself, it feels wonderful. You're literally taking the mask off. You know,
But
masking
you know,
is
that is
so
so
scary.
much harder to say than to actually do.
Oh, I'm
To walk
yeah,
around and be yourself, that is
mm,
a challenge to a lot of people.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
you know, so you talk about ADHD, and I just had this conversation a couple days ago, and I would love your opinion on this.
Yeah, hit
So
me,
I
man.
have ADHD, and I know a lot of people that do, and they're on medication to handle it, to control it, to kind of bring it down. And I know that there are different levels of it. You know, it's not like everybody's the same, everyone's at the same level.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel, and who I interviewed, they felt this way too, and it was a very interesting interview. Is that we felt like it was a blessing in disguise, and that's what we
Mm,
called it, to have ADHD, because we were so motivated and we were always like, what can we do next? Like, what's the next thing? And so whenever something was coming up, we already knew what the next thing was. How do we
yeah.
promote it? How do we start it? How do we end it? How do we, like, get people to be involved in it? And like, we already had those answers before we even already started it. And yeah, it keeps us up at night. It keeps us to not sleep. It keeps us to having these crazy fucking days. But in a way, like, I feel like people with ADHD are just so fucking special in their own way, because they learn how to navigate it
Mm.
in a way that benefits them when they have the right guidance. And I
I
and
think
so and I'm very
yeah.
careful with that. And I'm very careful
Mm.
when I say the right guidance, because a lot of people can go to a therapist or to a doctor and they'll get pills to kind of like bring it down, to keep them kind of stable. But to me, I'm like, I have fully embraced who I am as a person. And I know that I am a million miles an hour, but that makes me who I am. And I love it because it keeps me on top of myself. It keeps me accountable. It keeps me being truthful. It keeps me motivated. And I'm actually not on any kind of like stabilization pills for ADHD. I'm not on anything. And sometimes I feel like I should be, but there's times where I feel like I'm so grateful that I'm not, because I feel like I am truly being who I am, and I'm being the crazy, spontaneous guy with a million thoughts. But you know what? One of those thoughts is going to be a spark, and it's going to take me somewhere, and it's going to help people. So when you are talking about ADHD and bands that you've interviewed and festivals that you've been to, what is your kind of mindset on ADHD and just dealing with that on a regular day basis, having it yourself and also with people who are dealing with it and trying to maintain it?
I mean, me personally, one of my favorite sort of theories of mental health is humanistic psychology, which is the idea that the world is mad, and it's you trying to get work the world around you rather than you around the world. And I find that's really good. I've tended to do it's a bit different because I've also got PTSD, which kind of messes with ADHD as well. But you're more susceptible, arguably more susceptible to PTSD, and that makes things difficult. But I need a degree of chaos in my life,
Me too,
or else I
man.
get
Me too.
if I get bored, I will make chaos. That's how I found. And there's
When
many
you get
ways.
bored, not even just like feeling like you don't have anything to do and you want something,
Yeah,
it's just being bored. You feel like you need to
it's
create
just
that.
bored is not good. So if I don't have, I
Interesting.
find for me work is incredibly important to me because it structures my day. If I didn't have someone else tell me to go to work, I would probably vegetate until about 10 o'clock at night, and then I would
Mm,
blitz loads of things out till 3 in the morning. Kate
mm.
reminds me of this because whenever I've written something, she's like, "You hand it in at 3 in the morning," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's just when I work. My brain works
Do
best then."
you see that as a
But
bad thing though? Or do you think it's a bad thing just because,
mm,
kind of today's society can kind of see it as a bad thing?
it depends when you get to work. So when I used to work on the mental health wards, my ADHD was a godsend. That reading patterns, that hypervigilance, that
Mm,
you know
yeah.
something's going on, going up to someone, going, "You're not well, are you? There's something about you," and they're like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about doing something bad. Then how did you know?" And I was just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
"Maybe
yeah.
you can zoop out." I
I can
I
see it in
once
your eyes.
yeah, I once got snowed in for like 3 days or 2.5 really, and I was in my element because I was pretty much I had like 5 hours sleep, and I was just like, I will do everything, and then I slept for 2 days, and it was great then. But then you start adding other bits to your life, and it gets a bit
Yeah.
complicated. So I have a daughter
Mm.
now,
How
and
old?
she's 8 years old.
8 years old. Okay.
She likes Glory Hammer and she likes Bring Me the Horizon. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Yeah, it's getting there.
Bring Me
But
the Horizon's dope. I love Bring Me the Horizon.
yeah, we did a
It's a
fantastic
Parasite Eve,
interview.
man.
Yeah, yeah, we a fantastic interview with two gentlemen, and one of them's actually he's his own band. He's a one-man band. He's his own producer, musician, he's a drummer, he's a bassist, he'll do everything. And he was saying like his life works because he's built his life around the ADHD rather than the
Yeah.
ADHD around his life,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
works really well for him. It
That
used
I
to
mean,
work
that is
very
a
well for
perfect
me.
example of just taking control of your own life and not letting
Yeah,
doctors and medication kind of dictate the way you live.
yeah. And you're I mean, because you're a creative as well. ADHD is
Yeah.
fantastic for that, isn't it?
It is.
I
It is, man.
miss.
It is. I mean,
Mm,
there's times where I hate myself. And I wish at like 3 o'clock in the morning I wasn't thinking about creative ideas. I wish I can just go to sleep. There's times where I wish I could just be like, you know what, this 9 to 5 job is great for me. I'm gonna be
yeah,
here until I retire, and then I'll like travel and do my own thing. There's so many times I wish that I can just be that way, but I'm
yeah,
just like in my head every day. I'm like, you know what, I need to do what I love, and I want to help people, and I love heavy metal, and so I want to do something in the music space, but no one wants to talk to me, and
no,
it's been years of that. Years of that. I also make horror movies. I've been in a bunch of like short
yeah,
like film festivals and stuff like that. And so I've always been a creative, and so whenever I'm feeling that way, it always
yeah,
relates to writing something or directing something or editing something. I've never been one to be like, you know what? I'm working a 9 to 5 and I want to be a manager one day and then do this
yeah,
forever. Like I've never been that way. And when I think back to the jobs that I have, I'm like, you know what? I was not the best worker,
no,
but I'm okay with that because I know that I have this condition called
yeah,
ADHD that is pushing me to be better. That is pushing me to be a little extra and to be a little
yeah,
crazy, but crazy in the best way, where I can create something and then do that full time. It hasn't really worked
it's
out
wonderful.
yet at age 35 where I can do that full time. but
Okay, I will
but
tell
it's
you this.
always been in there though. It's always been in my
Yeah,
mind. Like this is what I want to do, and I know that this is the route that I need to go.
one of my heroes is actually Alan Rickman, Harry Potter, and
Mm, really? Okay.
he started his career at 34, and he was I think he was an accountant or in something equally like
Oh
that.
my
He just
god, that is terrible. That's a terrible
I
life
would
to live.
love, oh my God, I would love to be obsessed with spreadsheets. I would love
Really? Would you
my
really?
daughter's, yeah, my daughter's mother is a whiz at spreadsheets. She spends her days organizing a workforce for different organizations. She's brilliant at it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
sort of like
crazy.
Tetris.
That's crazy to
I
me.
can't do that, and she
My
loves
wife
that.
said that she's a freak in the sheets and Google Sheets. That's what she always says. She's a freak of the sheets and ghoul sheets.
Well,
And she is though. And there's people like that who are like, you know, my brain works this way. So this is what I'm good at, and this is what I'm going to do to be able to provide a living for myself and my family. But for me, my brain does not work like that, no matter how much I try.
but that's why we need all of this in the tribe. You know,
We do.
we
Yeah,
need this
you're right.
diversity
You're right.
for it, and
I
I
agree
think
with you.
it's wonderful. And it's like if you strip it down to there's I can't remember, it's the metal comedian, the bald guy with a beard, he's fantastic, and he does a sketch, and he's just like, you know, that kid in school who couldn't sit still, the one who was running around making dinosaur noises, doing the teacher's head in. Yeah, do you know,
Yeah.
like, he's a lead singer in a metal band now. And yes, that's what everyone has a place.
And it's
Everyone has a
true.
place to do something.
It's
Yeah.
true. Everybody that I can think about who was like this outcast in like high school and middle school are doing something creative now that is like, holy
Yeah.
shit, like I knew you were going to do something creative one day. Like I knew you weren't going to be stuck in this 9 to 5 Monday to Friday office computer spreadsheet kind of life. Like you were going to go and do something just completely crazy, but crazy in the best way for you.
But everyone should do something creative. I think if
They
it's
should. I agree.
later in life,
Yeah.
I found love of writing far too late. I used to do a lot of theatre. I really
cool.
enjoy. I wanted to be a theatre actor, but I had head injuries in my teenage years, and
Mm,
afterwards I couldn't remember lines as well. I've done a bit of film work, but because of
interesting.
course that's easier, but you can't really call cut on
No,
stage.
you can't do that. Yeah. You
um,
can't go,
but I started.
take 5, take 6, take 7 in
No, no,
theater.
no, no. You
You can't do
just
that.
disappear and have like
Yeah.
an Evian. Like what? They're all watching me. It's fun. They have an Evian too. But no. And I started writing, and I actually found, I'm amazing at it. But it is really wonderful to create something, and
It is.
you don't have to share it. It can be for you. And I've written a few horror shorts. I'm really
Have
proud
you
of them.
really?
I'm
I
like
would love to
I'm
read them
like
one day.
I've lost them, which is a real shame. I wrote one which was
You lost them.
well, yeah, because I don't know about you, but I just grab a concept, and I think this is the same with a lot of people. If I grab a concept, I can't let it go. And
Yeah, same
I
way.
found out there's a guy who started a wolf sanctuary, and his name's Cougar, and
Wolf
my brain would
Sanctuary.
not let that go. Like, I was like, why the hell would someone start a wolf sanctuary? And that's how I wrote the short story, you know, how I married a werewolf. And because I'm like, why else would you start a wolf sanctuary apart from if you'd married a werewolf, but they were stuck in wolf form, but you still
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
live with them? Because that's what you do with your
Yeah,
love
that's what you
story.
do.
That's what I do.
There's no like outline for why you do what you just do it because you do it because you think it's cool and
Yeah.
fun.
And like you're, I mean, the best horror stories are really about love. They're the ones in very warped, strange love.
That
And
is true. So I'm a big horror buff, and my favorite movies are the psychological ones. It's not the slashers, it's not the
right, true
monsters.
enough.
It is the
Mm,
psychological ones. And what I will fight till the death with is the greatest movie of all time is Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I think just getting into the mind of Norman Bates and Ed Gein and all the characters in that movie, it is so hard to do that and difficult to be able to visually show you what a psychopath's mind looks like. That is
and it's
not an
very.
easy thing.
He's an honorary metalhead because you got to remember he did that. What was it? Was it 1960s he released that? So
For
was it
Psycho, 1968, 69, I want to say.
1969? 1969 he released Psycho. There were like John Wayne westerns at the
There
time.
was nothing like that at that time. And
There'd been
Hitchcock
nothing like
was
that at that time.
right. No, no,
Think
no.
about horror.
Seriously, he was
Yeah,
out of his mind, and people were like, "What are you doing? Like,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
do that. You're gonna ruin your legacy by making the movie Psycho. But
Yeah.
honestly, when you look back
It's one
on
of the
it
best films ever made.
in film history, it's like, no, that is one of the movies that people study today.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
nuts how the mind works, and how
Again,
and Ryan Murphy from American Horror Story and Glee and all them, and he just put out this series on Netflix called Ed Gein the Monster. Have you seen that by any chance on Netflix?
I've seen it. I've seen it. Again, this is the this is the little metalhead nerdy thing for me, and the fact that I've come from. I actually at one point wanted to work with forensic psychology, which is with people who've committed murders. I was kind of my stepdad who doesn't have the same second name as me. If anyone wants to hunt him down, it's a different name. He actually worked with individuals like serial killers, mass murderers.
Really?
Yeah, and had a lot of compassion.
Jack the
in his own
Ripper's from
way.
London, isn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He's from that area, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's worked with a lot of like very kind of famous and infamous and ones you will never hear about because what they did was just diabolical,
Yeah.
and but still approaching.
Oh,
that
we'll
with
never
a
hear
level of
about them.
compassion. Yeah,
It's
still
not
approaching that with a
anybody
level
who's
of
kind of
compassion.
popular in that, mental health, psychological
I
disorders.
won't go into any further because I don't think he'd like me to fully talk about it, because it was done. But
Okay.
the fact is, you still have these people, and there is a reason why people do this.
Yeah.
And things like horror, things like in a way, metal music explores that horror side of it
It
because
does.
no one does things for no reason.
Hmm.
There's always a reason, and that level of being disturbed, it comes from somewhere. It does,
does.
and it's often something that's been repressed or you've not been able to manage it. I mean, Egin's a really good example, not been able to really express who he was, being controlled. Um, and that's bad, okay? So, kids, be who you are.
Yeah. Well,
It's
one
healthy.
thing that
It
I
prevents
wanted to
mass
talk
murder.
about, one thing I wanted to talk about was I see that Slipknot patch on your vest.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Slipknot fan myself. I am a
Oh, you're a maggot too,
massive, I'm a maggot, 100%. And I just saw them at Madison Square Garden last summer do their self-titled album from front to back, and it was one of the best shows I've ever been to in my life. But I am,
Albums are written. It's
I
a
am
real
a,
album too. It's like, isn't it, like 16 tracks on the album?
yeah, it's
It's a
fucking
real
crazy,
album.
man.
It's
And they
got a
did it.
huge
They
amount
did
of
it from
music on it.
front to back.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
crazy, and I've never been to one of the. I've seen Slipknot
Because it's
before,
long.
and that was the best show of Slipknot I've ever been to. However, so I am a Corey Taylor fan. I love
Yeah.
how open he is with his mental health and talking about his, growing up and being, abused as a child, sexually. And
Abuse.
he's in like his second marriage now.
But
He's divorced and he's been through a marriage that wasn't helpful for him. And the song
Yeah.
Snuff, man, the song Snuff is just such a
oh, it kills you.
powerful. It is a
Yeah.
powerful song that when I still listen to these days, and I'm like, I will never understand this mindset. I will never understand the mindset of Corey Taylor when he wrote Snuff or for Slipknot, or when he did it in London, because that like his acoustic set in London, I forget where it was, but there's like a very popular like set from him performing it live in London in the UK, and it's what he used when he did the Corey Taylor live kind of concert that he released, and he did Snuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think I listened to Snuff like 2 days ago, listening to one of my past relationships. I mean, Corey Taylor has been someone for me, not even just with Slipknot, but his own solo stuff. There's a song called Home that he wrote for Alicia, and he's been very open about his first marriage and his first relationship. He even did there's a video you can watch on YouTube with him talking to a therapist, talking about what he went through as a kid and as a teenager. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't even know this part about him when I was like, you know, 14, 15 years old listening to Slipknot. And now as a 35-year-old adult, I can,
Yeah.
you know, appreciate him so much more. And I can listen to Snuff and I can listen to his interviews and just be like, man,
So
I get it. I get
yeah,
it.
and he was saved by music.
He was.
So he
Yeah.
was one of the things that got him to change was he saw Faith No More on TV, and he was just like, I
Mhm.
want to do that. And I can't remember which song. Might be Epic actually. Song. But he was just like, oh my fucking god, I didn't know there's music like this, and he just started absorbed it all, and then
Yeah.
got in a band, and is now created something which we all love. Can I tell you a
Is
story
one of the
about
biggest
Corey?
metal bands of all time.
Yeah, can I tell you a story about?
Yeah.
So
I would love to hear anything you got.
download 2012, and this is not long after
13
Paul
years
Gray
ago.
died. Yeah, Paul Gray died,
Hmm.
and
That was
Stone
rough.
Sour
That was rough.
were playing. So Corey Taylor comes on, and he's playing, and he's like, "Look, guys, I'm going to give this a go, but if I can't finish it, you all know why, because we almost
Mhm.
fall." And he played Bother, and
Father. Oh my God. That's a
Bother's so
Stone Sour song.
yeah. So he's there, he's standing down, and he's playing acoustic, and it's still for me as a child of the '80s still a bit weird to see a man of that size burst into tears.
Yeah.
And he got about a minute in, and he couldn't, so we all finished it for him.
Mm. Wow.
And it was a massive group of people, all those people
Wow.
together. And do you know what? It felt like a wake. It felt like all of us getting together as an opportunity to get over the loss of someone who all meant. I mean, obviously they meant more to Corey because I've known him since he was young. But
Teenage.
for all
Yeah.
of us, it hit us all. That death hit us all,
Yeah. It
and
really
it
did.
felt
Dude,
like
Paul
our
Gray, man. Fuck.
it felt like we were having a funeral, having a wake for him, and we all had a bit of a cry as people together, as a community together, and it was a genuinely wonderful human moment that
Wow.
I don't think it was one of those moments in my life. I was just like, fuck, I'm here, and something here. It's very profound is happening, and I'm part of it, and I'm so grateful to be part of it. And in a way, it was really wonderful. And
Yeah.
Corey was like, "Thank you so much." It was just like, "You guys are
That
the
is
best."
so crazy
And we
that
were
you
like, "Yeah,
say
screw the
that.
maggots, man. This is what we do."
Yeah, I mean, Ben, so it's so crazy you say that, man. So I lived in LA for 10 years.
Yeah.
And the very first time that I saw Corey Taylor perform as a solo artist
Yeah.
was a couple of days after Joey Jordison died.
Fuck, man.
It
That's
was a couple days.
that he still goes out and
And
does it.
I walked into that show. It was at the House of Blues in Las Vegas where Corey Taylor lives right now. Him and, that's where he lives right now. And I thought, I'm like, oh my, holy shit. This is the first show that Corey's going to do since Joey has died. I wonder if he's going to say anything. And then he plays the first couple chords of Snuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit.
Goes
I'm
hard.
like, he's going to do something for Joey.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't remember the exact words that he said because I was kind of in the moment. But he says to him like, this goes out to one of my brothers. And then he sings Snuff and he goes, this is for you, Joey.
Mm.
And to be at the very first show that Corey Taylor put on after Joey's death, for him to sing that song.
It's crazy.
I'm only laughing because it's just like, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
I
How
mean,
would you
when
explain that to someone
I was in,
who's not of the culture? It's
you
like,
can't. I was like 13 years old when I first, stood behind a drum set, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna play Sick right now. I'm gonna play Wait and Bleed right now.
yeah.
And Joey Jordison was the reason that I even started to play music.
Yeah.
And when Joey died, it was rough, man. losing Joey
Mm.
and losing the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold, and
Oh man, that was the one that hit hard, didn't it? Yeah.
I don't
But
even I don't even know what to say, because to
it's,
me, like
it's difficult.
those were the boys I grew up with.
Yeah, it's difficult to explain that to anyone else. I mean, um, if you explain that to someone else who isn't of our culture, who isn't of our tribe, and it's hard to explain how big it is. I remember when
Yeah.
Ronnie James Dio died. I was genuinely shocked. I was working at the time, and I was meant to go to High Voltage Festival, and I was
Oh,
genuinely
was
shocked.
he supposed to be there?
Yeah, he was meant to be there, and I remember Mark, who's a very stern Northern like nurse, but had a cracking sense of humour, and he's just one of those people who use. It's often you get in healthcare, very black humour. And and I'm like, I don't know if they're still going to run it. And he just walks away, puts his hand on my shoulder, and goes, "Well, if he does, it'll be low voltage festival." It's just like, oh,
I love Voltage
yeah,
Festival.
but and I went, yeah, I, it's like, and that it helped. It did help, but at the same time, it's
Yeah,
just these are our prophets. These are our people. These are our leaders. These, in
yeah,
our culture, these people mean a lot to a lot of us.
yeah.
Getting someone else to understand that is very difficult. And this
It
is
is.
why we're culture. This is why we're community. And this is why what we're doing we feel is important. So go back to your original question there, Matthew. That's why we think this is important
Wow.
because we breathe together, we grieve together.
Yeah,
We listen to music together. We are as tight a community as we can be. And like any community, you've got your jokers, you've got your aggro people, you've got your assholes, but
yeah.
being metal's really important to a lot of people. I mean,
It is.
metalhead isn't a
It is.
statement necessarily what you listen to,
No.
because let's face it, a lot of metalheads, we like Taylor Swift. You know, you don't disqualify people like Taylor Swift. It's the way you see the world.
Yeah,
It's the way
I
you see
agree with
people
that.
next to you. It's the
Yeah,
shared values, and if you
yeah.
share values, that's a culture,
Wow,
and that's what we are.
that's powerful.
Yeah, it
It
is.
makes me emotional.
This ain't our idea.
I mean, I'm
This
only
is what I
laughing
always
because
dream
I don't
about.
want
We're
to
just
cry right
trying.
now.
No, the dots are there. We're just joining them up, man. You're already out there. All of you are already out there doing your thing. The
Yeah,
bands, and the cycle continues. The bands are inspired by the bands who inspire the people who are inspired, and
yeah.
that's what we are. That's who
I
we
mean,
are.
one
We
thing
give
that
our all, man.
yeah, one thing I want to show you, Ben, is I have
Yeah,
a Linkin Park tattoo right
I
here.
saw from the hybrid
But
theory, man. I've
Hybrid
seen
Theory
that.
tattoo. But you know what though? It's not for Hybrid Theory and it's not for Linkin Park. It was for Chester, man. I
Yeah.
didn't get this until after Chester passed.
Mm.
And when he did, I can't even tell you the pain that I went through, and the pain that I went through for a very long time.
Yeah.
I felt that the me from 20 from year 2000 to when he passed was dead. And I'm like,
Yeah.
who am I if Chester Bennington is dead? If Chester Bennington is dead and he did it on his own hand, his own volition, and I'm believing what the media is telling me, how can I go on and live life after this, looking up to him, looking up to Chester, and being like, I can get through this?
Yeah.
Like, how do I do that? How do I continue every single day with my hero killing himself?
Yeah.
And how am I supposed to get through today if he did that?
If he can't.
It was one of the Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, fucking
That was
Anthony Bourdain,
that was a
Kate
rough
Spade,
couple of years,
that whole
wasn't it?
like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I was in hell.
Mm.
All my heroes were dying, and all these people were just passing away at their own hand. And I'm like, okay, Chester was in one of the biggest bands of all time. He was one of the most influential singers of my era. His album is arguably one of the best like nu metal albums of all time. How can I now go be like, you know what, I can make an impact on my life? It totally brought me in this really weird spiral where I'm just like, no matter what I do, it doesn't matter. If Chester's life ended up the way that it did, then how can I go on and be like, oh, I did something positive in my life, when looking at somebody who had everything who you could ever ask for had? What's your thought?
Because living is the most metal thing I've ever done, and every breath I take is spitting in the face of an unkind universe, and that's how I see it.
That's
but
true.
Chester's
very true, man. You can't argue that. You can't argue that.
There's a massive impact on us. We had Somewhere I Belong is the name of one of our resources, and that's where people draw together what they're going through, and they write the songs.
Somewhere I Belong.
Like them, that's what we.
Because you guys want to be able to give them somewhere that they can just go and just be themselves.
Yeah, and we did a resource. We did a resource. I might have gotten mixed up again. Sorry, it's getting quite late here.
You're good. Sorry for
but
keeping
we
you
also
so late.
resource for gigs and venues, and that was called A Place in My Head. And that was basically.
So you guys are inspired by Chester and his
Massively.
lyrics and his words and early Linkin Park.
Yeah, I mean, I like early Linkin Park. I remember seeing Crawling, hearing Crawling, but you saw it. That's the thing. It was like crack, so you saw it and you were like, the video's good. In like
it was more than a song.
Yeah, and then, but not only that, but then they released banger after banger, and each one was more invasive in how you can feel, how the mortal condition can be, and really, I mean, Breaking the Habit's one of my favourite songs by them, simply because it's acknowledging, do you know what? There is something wrong with me, but I can't just keep doing this. I've got to
easier to run.
No one's going to do it.
Yeah,
no one's
easier to run.
It's easier to run. You know, it's written on the wall that I'm the one who falls. You know,
Wow.
you need to make the change, and that to me is incredibly powerful. That has more power than any therapy that I've ever run. And
well, you know what? One of the last things that Chester said in one of his
therapy,
iconic interviews is, "I'm doing this to myself." When people ask him about the song "Heavy" and about the late, like their last album, and it's, you know, Chester saying things like, "I did this to myself, and I know that I'm repeating the cycle over and over and over again, and I'm doing it to myself." And so when you say things like "heavy," like, I don't like my mind right now stacking up these problems that are so unnecessary, because they're so unnecessary. We don't need them, but we do.
But it's
it
also
to ourselves.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird because it's people, and this is one thing I found, and this is one thing I've done. People seem to find it easier to help other people than they do to help themselves, and that's It always reminds me of even this 1 minute silence. They were sort of flashing about in the one album. I think they kind of despair, but they did a really great. I can't remember the song. It was a really great lyric. If I can change one, I can change two. If I can change two, I can change three. If I can change three, I can change. And it's almost giving yourself permission to get better. Someone's giving yourself permission to reach out and get help. And a lot of people find it a lot easier to help other people themselves, and that strikes me as in a way is really wonderful. How wonderful it is that people can be so altruistic. You know, they're going through something, and their thought is, I don't want anyone to feel like I feel. I want to help other people, and they'll do that for you. And
do you ever feel that you're in such a unstable mind place that You
So
want
I'm
to
not thinking
help.
the answer is yes.
You want to help. You want to help
Yeah,
people, but it's like, how can I help people when I can't even help myself?
yeah, yeah, of course. Or I'll help other people, so I don't have to think about helping myself. You
Yeah.
know, great distraction. And it is a way, and we are. I mean, especially if you've had, I've long-term mental health problem. I've been pretty much since a child. I will never be as well functioning as people, but I accept that. You know, I'm okay with that. And I always know there'll be these ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And I know when I'm an up, there'll be a down. I know when there's a down,
Yeah.
I know there'll be another down. But
Yeah.
I just try and grab
That's life, man.
much time. Yeah, as much time of these ups. If I have out my
I
seven
love
days a
that.
week only one good day, I still have one good day.
I love
And
that.
I'll have another good day.
Yeah.
And I accept that. And
It's hope.
as I've got older, I've given less of a fuck, and I've just done everything I can, but try to look after myself as much as I can.
Hmm.
Because, you only get one try at this, really. Unless you're a Buddhist,
Yeah.
you can have a few tries then. You can come back a few
Yeah,
times
I
if
mean,
you
it
do.
all really
But
depends on what you believe, and yeah, that's
yeah,
true. So Ben, so this is going to be kind of a personal question. If you don't want to answer it, I'm more than happy to move on to the next thing. But it sounds like you've been through some, deep interpersonal kind of
mm,
therapy, and looking at yourself and thinking of different mindsets and stuff. What got you started in thinking this way? Because it's not an easy thing to do. Being
what
able to
to
be
seek
like,
help.
you know what, I want to seek help and I want to get better, and I know that I have a problem, and I know that there's these things in my life, but I'm going to go to therapy because I need help, or I'm going to do this because I know that I need assistance here. um for anybody listening that is looking for help, or looking for advice, or looking for a direction, what was your direction, and what kind of advice can you give to somebody who doesn't really know where to go, but they love music and they love heavy metal and they love this community? What
Yeah.
is your advice, Ben?
But I mean, for me, the point where I decided I started to change was actually on my daughter. A lot of people say this.
Mm.
Kids change you because you've got to look after them. And I think a lot of
How
time,
old is your daughter right now?
so she's 8, she's 8.5. She's obsessed with Pokemon, obsessed, like all the time. She will tell you the difference, between all of them. She'll tell you all the
So
different types
going
of.
back to Ben 7 years
Yeah.
ago, 7.5 years ago, 8 years ago, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who is just kind of starting off of like, you know what? I want to be a husband. I want to be a father. I want to raise children. I want to go this route. Like, what is Ben Ryan's with metal, heavy metal therapy's advice?
Reach out, get help, sort your shit out. Go.
Mm.
That's it. You are worth
I
way
like how you
fucking
came
more
right
than
up to
you
the
think
camera and
you
did
are.
that.
Yeah, you are worth more than you think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you should be talking to yourself like you talk to other people, like you
Mm.
talk to your friends. And if the conversations you're having up there
I
with
love that.
yourself are not kind, you need to sort that fucking shit out because you're worth
Mm.
way fucking more than you think of. And I wish I'd done it. I wish I'd done it years ago. And I kind of went through. I had horrendous one time where everything just fell apart. I separated from my ex-wife. I've still got a good working relationship with her. Um, I kind of had to move. I moved out, which was kind of my idea, and I also lost my job. And this all happened in the space of about 3 months.
Mm.
Um,
That's a lot.
and I was absolute rock bottom, man. It was
Yeah.
absolute rock bottom, and I just didn't know what to do, didn't know where to go. And then I saw Killswitch Engaged, and I weirdly had this epiphany.
and then,
Honestly, man, like just
and then I
in
saw
weeks, like
I
fucking
saw Kill Switch. Everything was fine.
yeah. And then I saw, and it is, and I was just like, you know what? And I felt the energy, I felt the crowd, and I was just
Fucking
like,
love
I
it,
went
man.
through. I was like, how am I going to get a new job? How am I going to get a place to live? How am I going
Yeah.
to? Like, how am I going to be able to like look after my daughter? Or care about it. I've lost everything, and you know that my ex-wife's very supportive. Her parents were wonderfully supportive, but
That's
I
great.
saw a
That's
kill
great.
switch, and it was almost this big reset, and I was just like, yeah, you know, I am worth something. I'm part of something. I'm part of something
Wow.
bigger than me.
And
And
it was after the show that you thought
it
that.
was after the show. I dabbled in stuff before, and I knew I needed to make a change, but I took a few rounds. When I really made a change, I started going to therapy. I've done so many therapies. I've done behavioral activation. I've done cognitive restructuring. I've done general counselling, specialist counselling in your biology. I've done cognitive analytical therapy. I've just finished EDMR therapy, which is the one with the moving lights, which helps you reprocess things. And I'm going to
Huh.
start.
I just read an article about that because all these artists who are
It's
using
good.
all these like crazy lighting techniques and crazy effects
Yeah,
on
yeah, it's
stages
great.
of that
And
and how it affects people and their brain. I just read an article about that.
it's phenomenal. And honestly, if you ever want to like just bring yourself down, just tap your knees one after the other.
Mm,
And it sounds really strange, like the little drum kit, and it just kind of
yeah.
regulates you. And
Any drummers out
any
there will be like,
drummers,
I've been
you
doing this
know,
for like the last 15 years. And
not Joey Johnson style, like the that's probably not going to work. You know,
yeah.
you like double kick drumming it, or
Not
spinning
Joey
around.
Jordison
Yeah,
style, but just kind of like
no,
basic drums, kind of.
like
Okay.
yeah, but you know, living for someone else, which is it's stupid, man.
Yeah.
Why should I be living? I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a wonderful person. I love my daughter to pieces, but why should I be living for someone else? I should be living for
I
myself.
yeah.
You all should be living for yourself.
Well,
And
it's like what they say on an airplane, where it's like you can't protect yourself until. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. You
love that.
it's like
Yeah,
it's almost like in an airplane where they say that you can't protect others until you protect yourself. Like you got to put your
you
face
should be.
mask on and
Mm,
your oxygen on before you can help other people with theirs.
yeah,
And I
and
think that
you
that's a
sort of
great metaphor and a great example to go on for pretty much anything in life.
one of my favorite set of lyrics in any song is it's not their best song, definitely not from the best album, but it's Machine Head. Big fan, love Rob. Rob, you are the contents of my brain, and I love you so much. Rob Flynn is my hero.
But this is not your
Um,
best song or your best album, Rob.
it's not your best song,
Okay.
but I love it, mate. I love it. And it's the blood, sweat, and tears. You know, and
I
it's a
love it, man.
wonderful lyric.
We all have our one song where it's like this is
Yeah,
the song that got us through fucking
yeah,
because it connected at the right time.
yeah. But it's the first song about the first half of the song is about hating yourself, about being self-destructive, about you know drinking, taking drugs,
Yeah.
puking up violent hate. You know, it's the and then
It's the bottom of the
the
bottom.
going intro is just like hold on to the end, and then the second half of the song is about reaching out, breaking down the walls, you know, becoming a better person, seeking the help you need, and I fucking love it for that. It's so and like it goes hard with the drums as well. You know, and it's such a good song because essentially it's recovery in two halves and in the song and it's great and I'm sorry I said it's not your best song Rob please don't it's I think it's your
So
best song lyrically.
so talking about lyrics and talking about
Yeah.
music, that's a perfect kind of segue into the next question I was going to ask you. So when you are dealing with your company and thinking about the next best things to do and thinking about the best next thing for not only yourself but for metalheads and people who don't have the right resources, how do you use music in your daily life to kind of dictate what your next move is? Like at the age that you're at right now, like
Yeah.
how do you use music to help guide you through your daily life, or do you think it's kind of just something that just it's just a natural thing that comes to you, or do you still have those songs and those bands where it's like, you know what, I'm going through a really hard time right now and I just got to hear Chester's sing out crawling right now or something like that? Like getting through life at the age and the time that you're at right now, how do you personally use music to help keep you going, man?
I find I use music as a mood stabilizer. That's really true. It's
What do you
yeah,
what do
it's
you
my
what do
lithium,
you what do
man.
you mean by that? You talking about like
So if
no
I'm
matter what mood you're in, you use it to kind of
yeah
keep you at that
if
place?
if I'm feeling like dour and really cynical and really low and I haven't got the energy, at the moment I've been putting on like Electric Callboy or something and with like hyper or Parasite or something like that to get me up. If I'm feeling sort of angry, if a feeling I need to process this because I'm a child of the '80s and we're not very good at processing emotions. We grew up on like GI Joe and Brave Star.
You
We
guys
weren't
were
taught.
like growing up and like I'm gonna join the army and just go fucking
Yeah,
kill
we,
everyone.
we were we were like taught two things: drugs are bad, and all people with English accents are bad. So
Gotcha.
so we're allowed three emotions. We're allowed to be tired, horny,
Three
angry.
emotions.
That's it. Yeah.
So at this
Um.
age now and loving what you love, how do you get through it?
Yeah. So I guess I use a lot of music to help me process my thoughts because I don't always know what they are because, like I say, I suck at that. So if I'm feeling down, I'll listen to something a bit slower, like Snuff, for instance, or something from Subliminal Verses actually really good. So,
I love
okay,
Subliminal
Subliminal
Verses,
Verses for
man.
me
That's one
is
of their
folk
best
metal, and
albums,
I'll
man.
die on that hill.
I love that
Um,
album so much.
yeah, that entire album is Something's in the Woods and It Might Kill Us. I love that. It's yeah, I love that part.
It's,
But yeah, and
it's
so
so good.
I'll use, if I'm feeling a little bit kind of a bit strange,
Mm.
or a bit like, I'll listen to something like Ginger because Ginger is basically jazz, with kind of metals. Or if I'm doing the dishes and I'm bored, weirdly I listen to death metal because I feel very boring when I'm doing the dishes.
Interesting.
Or doing the housework. So I feel if I listen to something that's a bit more extreme, it makes me feel less like I am in fact a middle-aged man.
Gotcha. Do
But I
you
think
feel that with your ADHD that kind of music kind of helps keep you calm in a way?
it helps keep me not necessarily calm but focused.
Focused. Okay.
My paid job at the moment, I quit nursing and being a therapist, but I'm currently a telecoms engineer, and sometimes I have to sort of spend ages melting tiny fibers together.
Mm.
And I will put something on the background simply because it will focus me,
Oh,
because
okay.
if not, my brain will
When you say
disappear
you put
somewhere.
something on, you mean like music and you something like
I'll
that,
put
or
like
just
yeah, I'll generally put on sort of like often my 2000s like list. So yeah, the older
love
kind of
it,
ones, the old Kerrang and Scuzz kind of stuff.
love
Because
it,
it's
love
it's
it.
just it's already there in my brain and it helps me focus. And driving's a big thing because I am one of those drivers where all of a sudden I'll just be like, shit, where am I? How much time has passed? Just my
Yeah,
brain will just go.
absolutely.
And
So so
yeah, so
somebody working in this place and in this genre with these kind of people with these kind of interests,
mm,
what do you feel is the area that is kind of most under attack right now in a way where it's mental than anything else? Do you think it's music? Do you think it's video games? Do you think it's horror movies? Like, what do you, from your experience and being in, heavy metal therapy, what is kind of the area where people are needing the most therapy when it comes to that genre at this moment?
I think bands are really struggling. Bands are really struggling. Gone are the time where if
Bands
you
are struggling, you said.
bands are really struggling, and I speak to a lot of bands,
Hmm.
and even bands that have got
Personally, or
relatively
for the podcast?
for the podcast and
Okay.
occasionally personally.
Okay.
And I talk to bands like not necessarily metal, band Massive Wagons, which are doing lots of stuff, and they're quite big in the UK. They're making money on merch and ticket
Yeah.
sales, and often, I mean, my buddy's in a punk band, and he travels the world, and he barely breaks even.
Mm.
He's lucky to make a few £100s on a tour.
Wow.
Bands are not financially. as viable as they used to be. I mean, no band's ever going to make as much money as like Metallica did, you know, because it's just we stream music, we don't sell albums. A lot of bands are living off selling the merch.
Hmm.
I'm hearing of bands who are sneaking, they're doing tours, they're sneaking their merch in their luggage, you know, for when
I
they go
actually
abroad.
was just speaking to a band earlier. When they go on tour,
Mm,
they sell their own merch separately. They're like, okay,
yeah,
it's this price, but if you want to buy it from us personally, it's this price.
yeah, and it's very difficult because in a lot
Yep.
of ways you've got your needs are, you know, I need enough money to live and to
Yeah.
eat and support my family if you've got them. And bands are just not making as money. It's just not as stable as a thing. And we've had a lot of things, a lot of changes post. Well, we've a lot of issues with travel. You know, bands traveling into the US, for instance, it's a lot harder for bands to come to the US now, isn't it?
With like tariffs
Um,
and stuff like that.
yeah, and
The
the
tariff,
same the
yeah.
same with UK with
Yep.
things like when we had Brexit. I'm not going to say either or before this, but it is harder to move around
Sure.
Europe
I get it.
now, so
Yep.
it
We
becomes
all
more
we all
costly.
see it, man. We all see it.
We Yeah, and I think it's had a real strain on
Mm.
the real heroes of music history, which is the guys on the floor, and not just the bands. You know, the guys, the sound guys, the roadies, the
Yeah.
promo guys, the managers.
The
It's had a
merch
massive
booth
impact. The
guys.
merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of our friends, collaborators, is actually a tour therapist. So her hours are tour hours, and you know when bands finish and they're on the bus driving to wherever to do the next thing, they book her in.
I've seen that. There's a couple of profiles that I've seen that are like heavily promoting. I am a band therapist, and I'm here for
Yeah,
you on your days when you are traveling. I've seen that.
yeah.
It's a thing right now.
There are
It's definitely a
a lot
thing
of
that
them
I've never seen so out in the open before.
mm. Because it's hard out there. It really is, and I've so much respect
How
for
come it's hard
any
then?
band.
Is it financially? Is it missing family? Is it missing just the emotional connection to somebody else? Is it all of it? What is it?
All of the above,
All the
isn't
above.
it? It's though you're away from your family, you know,
Yeah.
you're never going to make as much money as you did in the past. Um, you know, and touring is hard work.
Yeah.
It's physically hard. We talk about Slipknot. I have a theory about Slipknot. Slipknot's got less heavy over the years, and my theory
They
is,
definitely have.
but my theory is, it's not necessarily they want to, but they have to because
Mm,
they're getting older now. You
yeah.
can't keep doing that. You can't you can't keep doing like what
Especially
they
like
do.
when you are personally in a better place. And that's funny
Yeah.
because we were talking about,
Well,
you
they're
know,
physically,
how
man. These have
yeah,
got to, and you're
Corey,
great.
he wrote Slipknot when he was in his well, he was in Slipknot and wrote Snuff when he was at the worst place of his life. And like, how are you supposed to come back and write a better song when you are just like when you have your new wife, you know, Alicia Taylor,
Yeah.
who's a total fucking badass, by the way. But like, how do you come back from being that person to being that person, but not being that person?
Yeah. And
And
you're
like the
not
fans'
really.
expectations of you.
No, I can have a bad day at work, and I can accidentally break something. You know, you know, might cut someone's internet off, and I'll fix it. You're not allowed a bad day when you're in a band. You're
You're
not
not.
allowed, are you?
You're not.
You're not allowed to go on
You're not.
stage and not give it your all.
Yep. You
And
can't
you
do
know, you
that.
should be able to.
You're not
Oh, I should.
when you're in a band, you are no longer a regular human being.
No, you're a superhuman.
You are a
You are,
superhuman
yeah.
who was on stage, who was above me, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at you for something. I'm looking at you for motivation to keep going in this life. I'm looking at you to be like, you know what? Hey, you know what? Corey can do it. I can do it. But if Corey can't do it, what makes me think that I can? That I
Yeah.
can? If the Rev is going to be one of the best, you know, drummers of my time, why would I ever think that I can pick up drumsticks? if Kurt Cobain is going to die, why would I ever think that I can pick up a guitar and sing a song?
That's why Lemmy played bass, wasn't it? He was like, they're like, why didn't you ever play guitar? He was like, well, I was roadie for Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm never gonna
It's a
follow that. I'm like,
weird, you know,
well, you should.
this whole rock and roll space, and you know what we want to do, and the people that we look up to, and then
Yeah,
it's wild, Ben.
it's
Wild, man.
it's actually wild. And I'm massively, I do really feel sorry for bands sometimes talking to a lot of them,
No,
and
me too.
they're all trying to make
Seriously,
it,
yeah,
and
me too.
it's so much harder to do. And if you're only fans watching this, fucking, we love you, man. What you do
Yeah,
is so important to us, and it's
absolutely. I
keeping us
mean, if it
safe.
wasn't for
It's
touring
keeping us safe.
bands, we wouldn't have a podcast to talk to other bands and, you know, artists who want to keep putting their art out to inspire
Yeah,
people and keep them going. I mean, the
yeah,
whole reason that, you know, my podcast even exists because I wanted to kill I mean, I attempted to kill myself. And the
right.
only thing that really kept me alive was my favorite songs. You know, I'd be like, you know what, right now I can attempt to harm myself, or I can just put on this song right now and just lay on the floor and just be with it.
Yeah,
And that's what I did most nights.
and it's the music alone
Wild,
has
Ben.
created. It's created a worldwide tribe, a worldwide community, a worldwide culture
Yeah.
of these wonderful people who potentially can do a lot for each other, potentially can really support each other. And you even look at parts of the world it's reached. But South America is massive on metal. You know, you look at the impact of a couple of bands that are sort of from there. It's huge. You know, Bloodywood is one of my favorite bands at the moment. Can you imagine, like, you wouldn't imagine an Indian New Delhi metal band
Interesting. I
10 years
haven't
ago.
listened to.
It's huge. Iran has metal bands. You know, it's
Yeah.
sort of very like a traditionally very conservative country. Metal's reached there. It's reached their culture. It's Japan. It's Russia. It's everywhere. It's this
Mm,
great big worldwide tribe
yeah.
that the music has made, and that's wonderful and that's amazing, isn't it? That's when you think about it, it's really really incredible. I can go to Russia or Japan and I can meet another metalhead, and I know we can have a lot in common, and I know that we can talk,
Yeah.
and that's brilliant. That's
So
that's
then Ben
no
Ryan.
aliens.
So for somebody who is not Ben Ryan, who doesn't know these metal bands all over the place and these punk bands and rock bands, and you know, doesn't have somebody that they can call and talk to, for somebody who is kind of just brand new to this and wants to use music as a place where they can use it as therapy and be able to get their thoughts out and their raw emotions out, like what is your advice to them on kind of just the first step, not even thinking about like what your ultimate goal is, but what is just that next step, the first step, what is it,
Mm.
what is the first
I
thing to
think
do?
find. I think it's just go out there and find something that speaks to you, and get friends to send you songs that remind them of you, and
Interesting.
because
I haven't
that's
heard that one yet.
yeah. My
Have
mum did that
friends
recently.
send you songs that
Yeah,
remind them of you.
yeah,
Interesting.
that make them think of you, and
Interesting.
you know,
Okay.
yeah, and get out there. And it doesn't, you know, it's not metal. You know, if you like hip hop, country, go listen to country, go listen to pop, go listen to music that have the music in your life. That's the important thing, you know.
Just have
If
music
it's
in your life.
yodeling, if yodeling is your Linkin Park, yodel, my son. You know, go find it. Find something that speaks to you and make that list and keep that playlist. Study the lyrics like your goddamn home text because you know they might save you. You know, and that is a really wonderful thing. Find songs that are you. Find songs which speak your thoughts better than you could,
Mm.
and you'll go far.
and
but go
study
to
that.
fucking therapy as well.
Yeah.
We need
Oh,
to go
okay.
to therapy.
Go to therapy as
But
well.
yeah, and it,
How
you know,
come?
find
How come, Ben? Why do you think that those two are separate? What's the benefit in your opinion on going to therapy?
I think there's a massive overlap, and you know, therapy can be very good with music. Music can be very good with therapy
Yeah.
because music will give you the ways. Your therapist is only as good as you are able to explain things to them.
Mm,
A lot of the
I like
time, and
that.
that's why I circled
That's
around
strong.
therapy like fucking Pluto from a distance for a very long time, and now I feel like Mercury. You know, it's kind of hot. So you can use those. I was very lucky when I started my EMDR, which is it's not invasive, but you feel it
What
physically.
does that what does that stand for?
So eye movement rapid desensitization, eye movement desensitization rapid, something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, and
Okay.
basically it's resorting memories from the it's happening now part of your
Wow.
brain to the it's just the memory part of your brain,
Wow. That's powerful.
which is very uncomfortable. I literally
Yeah,
threw up
I
in
bet.
it.
Yeah. I mean, just even
So
thinking about, you know, uh, things from the past that have traumatized
yeah,
you. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, something from last week can traumatize you. Something from yesterday can traumatize you. So just being like, I'm gonna
yeah,
go in a place where I just want to take care of this. That's massive.
yeah, yeah.
That
And
is
it's it's
massive.
it's
That's a
weird
huge
because
step.
do you know what the best benefit of it was?
What?
I'd actually forgotten a lot about the memories. So
Mm,
I'd remember, I'd go back and because your brain doesn't want you to be happy, your brain wants you to be alive and it wants you to be safe. So it will do a lot of things which will keep you
interesting.
alive. So if you have a traumatic event, what will happen is your brain will go, okay, cool, I don't want it to happen again. So I'm gonna keep that memory here. So anything similar to it, you can run away and you can go and start another camp somewhere else because we're still living in primal times, aren't we? Aren't we? We'll say we are, you know,
We'll say we are. I like that.
which is fine, except when you've got to stay in one place with the same amount of people doing the same thing because the way we live has changed.
Hmm.
Um, so it actually bleaches a lot of your actual memories of events. And when you start working on this, you actually realize some things like, oh my God, I actually had some really cool times when I was a child, or oh my God, I actually kind of ruled with this bit, and remembering a traumatic memory as a memory is really weird.
It
it's
is.
like going it's like going from a live action version of something which you're involved with. It's like going from being in the play to watching the film.
Mm.
And it's a very odd thing. It's very, very cool. But I think having things like
And
music help explore your
you
thoughts is good.
personally see that as being a positive thing, to be able to look back at the time that you
Mm.
spent and be like, you know what, this is what I did and this is what I learned from this.
Yeah, yeah. Because another thing you often get with trauma is it does affect your memory. It messes with your memory, and there's
Mm.
like retrospection of my life. I can't remember an awful lot. Which is why the music comes back.
How do you get that back?
It comes back just reprocessing it, just
Mm.
reprocessing it, or again using people. Like I often talk to members of my family about what sort of we all kind of went through back then, and it's really strange because you get almost like a Mandela effect where you're just like, no, I'm sure that was something else that happened. No, I hadn't happened at all,
Mm.
because your memories are so skewed because of the way the trauma works.
Yeah.
Especially on the individual. So I think sometimes piecing it together, it kind of feels like that film Memento. Sometimes, he's kind of like going back through the events, and he's just like,
Yeah.
"Do not trust this man."
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
it can really affect it. But what you don't want is you don't want this brain trying to keep you safe to be in charge. You want to live your life. You want to be happy, don't you? You don't want to be
Yeah.
alive. You want to be,
Here.
I was
Yep.
listening to Ride Against today on the way, and there's a great lyric
Hmm.
in that. I think it's Black Mask and Galaxine. It's just like, just because you breathe, it doesn't mean you're alive.
Yeah.
and that's what it
Very
kind of
true.
feels like. Treatment feels like claiming bits of your life back. You know, this belonged to me. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Remember who you are and always stay true to who you are. You know, the last thing you ever want to do is feel like you need to please somebody else or a whole other genre or a whole other group of people, because it's not going to come out genuine. You know, like,
Yeah,
you know, these artists that we hear pouring their heart out, you know, they're being true to themselves. They're singing their own
yeah,
life, their own personal experiences. So the best thing to do from day one is just to just be yourself. And don't,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, I kind of think that there's almost like unspoken rules and tenets of metal, and it's be yourself, it's be expressive, it's be brutally honest, it's
yeah,
if the person next to you falls over, you pick them up.
you pick them up.
You know, it's life is like a mosh pit.
It's like a mosh pit. I love that.
Life
I
is like a
mean,
mosh pit.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, what,
you're
you
gonna
know,
get knocked
it's
around.
funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. You know, whenever I go to a show and I'm in a pit, I see someone fall. My first thought is pick them up.
Pick them up. And we actually have it's kind of our funnies Facebook group. It's called the mental health mosh pit, and we
I like
post
that name.
funny stuff. Yeah, because it is double tie shoes. So lots of open shoes. But if someone next to you
Bring
falls
an extra
down,
pair of Converse.
yeah, if someone falls down next to
Grab
you,
two beers, put them
pick,
aside.
yeah. Maybe that's not a great one in life. Beer down your pants.
Yeah. Okay, so you know, Ben, what is next for, you know, heavy metal therapy? Like, what do you guys got coming up? What if someone is in a position right now where they feel like they need your resources? What is that first step where it's like, okay, this is this is the first step, and then these are the things that come next. What is that first step for anybody that wants to hang out with you?
First step is get on the website, look at what we're doing. B-Reads is what we call our support groups, and we have an online one if anyone wants to join that anytime, or you can even start one yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll send you the stuff for it. B-Read is a Yorkshire expression. It's like it will be okay. It'll be right, you know, be right. Um, so that's like our sort of like Yorkshire metal and yeah, I mean, we're same places, you know, Bring Me the Horizon, Welsh Sloops, and Def Leppard. So, come up from that. You can add stuff to our resources, to our playlists. You can access our playlists anytime. They're massive, you know, there's a lot of good things. And again, this is what I'm saying, Matthew, about, suggest music for other people. It's kind of how we communicate and share the love, isn't it? It's like you meet
Yeah.
another metalhead, you grab them by the ears and like, you need to listen to this band because I love them. You know, they
One of
speak to my
the
soul and they will speak to yours.
one of the special things that I've been doing the last couple of weeks for my page is that it's a recommendation Wednesday, but rec is spelled WRECK. It's
Love it.
recommendation Wednesday, and it's me just recommending songs that just
Yeah.
have helped power me through the week. And
Yeah.
the very
Well,
first song that I ever put was Snuff by Slipknot, and I've done songs from A Day to Remember and Beartooth and Slipknot and, you know, other bands, but it's that like midweek hump to be like, you know what, I got this week and I can get through, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and just fucking rock out on the weekend and just help people
Yeah.
push people through, man. I mean, I feel like
Mm.
when I worked a Monday through Friday gig, it was like that Wednesday, I felt like I was dying already. I'm just like, I need something.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, I'm like, okay, if I can have a place that people can come to on a Wednesday and be like, I'm going to check this song out and listen to it during lunch or, you know, before they start their shift or whatever, and it helps them in any way. I've done something already very super fucking powerful. And
One of the best things people can do for us is actually volunteer.
volunteer.
Come volunteer for us. We are a community.
What can they do
Interest
for
working.
your company to volunteer?
Variety of different things. So, I say you could set up a group for us. You can do outreach work for us. So you can just share out leaflets or anything like that. if you mention us to anybody, that'll be a massive help. We live on word of mouth and what people know. We don't have a huge budget at all. Like I say, we've lost a load of money. In fact, we're trying to do what we can to fundraise at the moment. None of us do it for money. In fact, we all lose money doing this, but we don't care because we love the metal community.
Yeah.
So if you can share the word, we do this as like a scene feature. So people put our stickers up or our posters in random places, send us a picture.
That's amazing. Dude, out here in Brooklyn, there's a million places where I can stick a photo or a sticker for you, man. And it'd be a great spot. I promise you.
Yeah, the university, I want to stick a load in, and the university, it's got shared toilets, but it's also got so it's got gender neutral toilets, but it's also got male female toilets. And I got my daughter to put stickers up in the ladies' toilets, and then within a few hours, we got a picture, a scene in picture, and someone was like, "Oh, I've seen this," and I was just like, "Yeah, my kid put that there." Mate. So
it's amazing. I was pissing and I saw you guys, and now I love you. That's a great way to start off that relationship there.
The resources we're making at the moment.
Yeah.
We've been doing what we're doing at the moment is we are training National Health Service staff at the moment. So we've got trained psychologists are coming to us, looking at what we're doing. So these are actual like working therapists, and they're kind of working with us and doing stuff, which is fantastic.
That's awesome.
We're getting published in research at the moment, which is great. It's really nice.
Amazing.
I'm just like.
That's really cool. Yeah,
I'm currently writing a metal self-help book. So it's a little less live, love, laugh, and more like die, hate, crime. So I'm actually writing a section on employment with mental health. And a lot of it's very brutally honest. Don't trust HR; they are a rat.
Oh, HR is fucking awful.
HR is fucking rat. And if you do work in HR,
oh my God.
But also, you know,
dude, I could talk about HR for I can start my own like HR podcast, but I'm not going to do that. But I feel like a lot of them are compromised, and no matter what you say or do, they're going to be on one side, and that's about it.
No, I've met some wonderful people working in HR, but unfortunately, the system we work in is not massively great for mental health problems.
No,
because I've always towed the line.
You have to. It's all political.
Well, I've always been employed, but I've always been on the cusp of being always over my sickness allowance. I've always been the cusp of why are you off again? Why? Because my massive mental health problems. So working in a lot of places, and weirdly, the nicest place I've worked in has been construction. They've been better than most of the places. But so a lot of it's my survival guide to.
I can see that.
Working.
I can see that.
Because even though I've had things like a lot of sick time and I've lost various jobs because of mental health, I've still stayed employed.
Really? Happy.
I felt qualified at least to write something about that. But a lot of it is it's a very honest self-help guide. It's like, you know, it's not everything's fantastic, just smile through it. It's like,
and those are the best ones, man. It's when you can read someone's story that was very tough, and you're like, you know what, if they can get through it, so can I. If you can just give a little bit of hope to one person, then it's all worth it.
Yeah. And it's the old adage, isn't it? It's just like helping someone out of a hole, and you jump in it with them, and they're like, "Why did you jump in? I know the way out."
You know, and after talking to these bands, and you know, it's like, okay, what was your story before you wrote this, while you wrote this, while you were recording it, and after you put it out? It's this really weird like journey of once you put it out, it's no longer yours. Like, you have let go of it, and it's almost a way of just letting go of your past and letting go of stuff in your life that have weighed you down, and be like, you know what, I'm gonna put it all into this song, into these lyrics, into these guitar riffs, to this solo, to this drum pattern, to this saxophone solo, whatever it is. I'm gonna put it into this, and I'm going to record it, and I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
That is a very powerful thing.
I think a lot of people don't seem to realize, for every song a band releases, there'll be potentially dozens they won't. You know,
Yeah,
they've put a
that's
lot
true.
of hit onto
Yeah,
there, and you won't see most of it.
you
You
have
know,
no.
you
Yeah,
still always see. I
yeah,
think Prince still has like an entire back catalogue
I'm
as big
sure.
as what is of stuff they just never released.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
just because, well, it was in the 80s. Prince probably wrote it. You know, it's crazy, and I think, I mean, we're talking about anything creative, do it. Like if it's up here, dear
Just
listener,
put it
viewer,
out.
write it down. Like you're saying, put it into drums, put it into guitar, put it into a song, put it into a poem. You know, put it into a fucking cake if you have to.
Yeah.
You know, if you're
Just
into
get it out
baking
there
pudding,
somehow.
just get it out there
Let
from
it
here to
out,
there.
let it out of your body, out of your system, out of your mind, and just
Yep,
put it somewhere else where you can be like, this is where it is. I'm gonna build this up and create it, and then let it go all at the same time.
yep.
That's powerful.
And who knows? It might be something someone else sees, and there's nothing wrong. People have done this with me before. I've done it to them. They've written something, maybe like a poem or song, and they've sent it to me, and they're like, "This is me. I can't tell you what I'm like, but this is how I'm feeling."
Mm,
And I've been like, "Okay, yes, I get it." Or just sent me a song, and I'm like, "Ah, okay, cool. That's the Smiths.
that's powerful.
Right, we're having a hard time, aren't we?" You know. So it's
Dude,
wow.
there's been tracks where, because what I do here on Heavy Mental Breakdown is we'll listen to a song and break down like the verses and the chorus and like, the pre-choruses and the pre-verses and the bridge and all that kind of stuff. And I'll be like, you know what? What did you mean by this? These
Yeah,
two lines right here. What did you mean by that? And it's pretty wild on the silence when you ask that question.
yeah,
It's like, wait, how do I want to answer this? Or
yeah. That's it.
how do I even answer that question? And that's the whole reason of the podcast
Yeah,
is to be able to get in the mind of somebody who is a creative, who is using something like music and writing, and whether it's guitar riffs or lyrics, how do you use that as an escape to let out the emotions that you're dealing with in a positive way?
yeah,
So when you ask that question, it's a very difficult question, but it's a very interesting one. And I love hearing the answer every single time I ask it because I know it's going to be a difficult one, but I love hearing it.
and it's a good choice to do it like that. We did an interview with a band, and they came from an area that's like really socially deprived, and they were saying our choices were become a band or get into drugs and crime, and they
Yeah,
were like, that's pretty much where you're coming from, and so
I've heard
we were
it.
like, get creative or just push it down with drugs. And they were like, we're getting creative, and
I've heard
that's what
that
it is.
with the addition of
Mhm.
or killing myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Because
that's when the
it's
conversations get really difficult.
yeah. Which it shouldn't be though, should it? It should be like, if you actually consider how often suicide is and how frequently, so because you got to remember, for
Yeah. It's very,
every
very
completed
normalized.
suicide or suicide attempt, there's hundreds of people, thousands of people with thoughts of doing
Yeah.
it. Living with, as you know, Matthew, just living with the thoughts of it, it's horrendous.
I've lived
You
with
know,
it. I've attempted it.
yeah,
And I've pushed through it and I've powered through and found the light at the end of the
yeah,
fucking tunnel,
good
man.
man,
And
good man.
and but I know firsthand that it's very hard to get through when you
Yeah,
feel that like you're at the end of it and there's nothing else there. Yeah, there's no darker feeling than that in the world.
yeah. And it's not necessarily the thoughts and everything you're going through and everything. It's the death of hope, isn't it? It's that feeling that nothing's going to improve. Because
Mm.
if we still had that feeling that things would change, we wouldn't do it, would we? because you'd be like, you break your leg, it hurts like hell, it's incredibly difficult. You know it's going to heal.
Yeah.
You know in a few weeks you're going to be okay. You go through a really bad patch, and your thoughts are things will never get better and I should end it. But they might, but they will. You know, it's still healing. Healing still happens, and that I mean, hopelessness is literally part of diagnosis, and that's what kills people. It's the death of hope.
It's interesting that you say those words, a death of hope, because one of the things that we've constantly gone to tonight is Corey Taylor and his song called Snuff, and that is actually
start our own fan.
That's actually. I mean, I would.
We just separate.
Yeah, we could be the founding members of the Snuff podcast, but that's an actual lyric. That's an actual lyric of that song.
Yeah, it is.
You know, the death of hope.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me feel like, okay, Corey, like you are more than Slipknot. You are more than just a guy who plays guitar and does music. Like you get it. It's the death of hope. It is, whether it's in a marriage or just a regular relationship or a job, family, whatever it is, we can all relate to the one line of like just the death of hope, of feeling like there's nowhere else to turn. And what do? One of the things is to listen to music.
Yeah.
And for me, Snuff and Slipknot and Corey, and those lyrics were one of the things that got me through the hardest time of my life.
I think one thing that's kind of got me through in the past as well is knowing more music's coming out. If I'm not here anymore, I can't listen.
I love that, dude.
Yeah, I can't listen to, you know.
That is so funny. You know what? I've asked this question and I've had this conversation with multiple people, and I've never heard that. I'm like, if I were to leave, there's so much more music that I would not hear. And there's so much more coming out, and I love that answer, because all it takes is one song or one lyric or one line to be like, for us normal folk to be like, you know what? Yeah, I can change my mindset. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, it really is that simple. It's not this like crazy scientific method that I need to try to figure out in my own brain to make myself happier. It's just a way that I think about life. And this person was able to use these words in this song to be able to, for me to be able to think this thought. It just takes one song. So I love that you said that, Ben. That is a great quote, dude.
But there's already, and I found, especially getting older, being more curious is really powerful. Not just with mental health, definitely is, but also with music. I'm a lot better now accepting and listening to new bands. And if someone makes a suggestion, actually listening to them. Listened to Orbit Culture recently. Because a friend of mine was just sort of banging on about them, and to the point that we've been joking about it. I'm like, oh, I listened to that band, the one you suggested. She's like, yeah, the one you suggested. I'm like, yeah, you really want me to listen to Confessions of a Traitor, was it? And she's like, no, Orbit Culture. Like there, and I was like, oh no, wasn't. And I finally listened. I'm like, God damn, I am so glad I didn't kill myself, because I got to listen to this. And also watch the.
That's a great way of thinking about it, man. That's a great way.
Curiosity killed the cat, but it kept the human alive. You know.
There's a quote that that one of the bands that I interviewed recently. It was John from the band Lift the Curse, and he told me, and I have never heard this before in these exact words, and there was just something about when he said it. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're right. And he said, if this is as good as it gets, then that's awesome. I get to record music that I make, and people are listening to it, and they'll come to a show and forget about their like thoughts and the rest, the craziness of the world, if they'll just listen to my song and be like, I forgot about regular life for 5 minutes, then that's awesome. And that was so powerful because to me, especially like when I was growing up, like I don't know, 20 years ago, my mindset was like, okay, this is my goal. And until I reach this, I'm not going to be happy. And there was a lot of things that happened in my life where I'm like, that was a big accomplishment, but I haven't reached this like one goal yet. And it just didn't seem that big to me. And now looking back, and I'm like, oh wow, that was actually really awesome. But I wasn't able to live in the moment because I hadn't like achieved the one thing. And so when John of Lift the Curse said that, I'm like, fuck, man, like that's powerful. Like at the time when I was, like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or whatever it was, if I can think, man, if this is as good as it gets, then this is awesome, then I would have had a much better time.
Yeah.
It's crazy how our mind and the way that we look at things and the way that we word things could alter our entire life. It's crazy, Ben.
It's
Absolutely nuts, man.
My personal next step is ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy, and a lot of that isn't. It's not changing how you think. It's reframing how you think, and
Yeah.
it's being okay with how you think.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real big one. And it's saying like, okay, you have these thoughts. You can't necessarily disprove them because you can't always. But you just let them pass and let them go through you and recognize them as thoughts. They're almost like cars passing by you. Just on the street. It'll come in, it'll come out, and then you'll have another thought. So just work with that.
There's
And
there's a book that I've read from Shad Welmstetter, and it's called, I have it right here.
Yeah.
What to say. It's kind of hard to see it. I don't know how to. I'll just read it. It's called.
You got your badass logo behind you. I love it, man.
Thank you, man. It's called. So the book is called "What to Say When You Talk to Yourself."
Yeah.
And it is. How many pages is this book? It is over 200 pages of. It's over 200 pages of just saying, think of yourself as an awesome person.
Yeah.
Like how crazy will life be? And instead of saying, I can't do that, how crazy will your life be if your first thought was to be like, I can do that?
Yeah.
Or
how crazy would life be?
I can.
Yeah. How crazy would life be if we talked to other people like we talk to ourselves? We would horrify them, wouldn't we?
And that's actually one of the chapters. It's one of the chapters.
Yeah.
Is talk.
I like that, then. Yeah.
Talk to other people the way that you would talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Because you know that you would tell yourself, dude, you got this, man.
Yeah.
You got this. Just push through it. It's tough right now, but you're strong, man. You can power through this and get through it.
Oh, you are like, we are so fucking strong as a species. So considering we are apes that are uplifted with additional hardware, additional software that isn't really built for the hardware, we are an overclocking computer.
Yeah.
We are the fan is whirring at the back of our heads with how advanced we are for how advanced we are not.
Yeah.
We're doing great. We are doing really, really well.
We are at the
and
best.
If you eat something,
yeah,
you're doing great.
We are at
Did
the best place
doing great.
that we have ever been when it comes to mental health. When it comes to resources and places to reach out to, and places that you don't even need to pay for to reach out to, other resources that'll just help you find someone to just talk to. Like, we are in the best place we've ever been right now with it. And it's people like you guys in your company and podcasts like mine and other people that talk about mental health that is keeping this conversation alive and keeping it. Let's keep talking about this because it is a thing, and we never want people to feel like they're alone, and just because they're in this space that they can't get through it. No, this is probably one of the biggest places that'll help you through whatever the hell you're going through. Just reach out. There's resources. There's heavy metal therapy. There is heavy mental breakdown where we talk about songs and how music helps gets us through tough times. There's resources for us all to reach out to. We just have to reach out to it. We just have to do it. And I think the more people that are out there and literally screaming it in your face, the better. The better.
Absolutely. And it would be, we've started a culture of ask twice, where you say, how are you? It's a very English thing to turn around and go, oh, not bad, could be worse. And actually the contents of your brain is screaming. I think culturally you guys are a lot better at sort
No,
of
we're not.
externalizing.
No. Someone
The
says
bar's pretty low here, Matthew.
No. Somebody says, hey, how's it going? Your automatic response is, I'm good, how are you? That is just a natural response.
That's the deflection.
That is something that I have done for 10 plus years, to say, I'm good, how are you? When honestly, I want to just fucking kill myself inside right now.
I think me and my lady friend, we have a thing, we'll say that, and then we're like, now what's the real answer?
Yeah.
That's our thing. Like, what is the real answer to that question?
I like that, though. I like that. That's a great response. Oh, you're good? Cool. How are you really feeling?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a normal human reaction when someone asks you that question. Because a lot of us don't want to put the burden on somebody. And we don't want to be like, you know what? I'm having a rough day. And I just saw you, so let's make it about me. A lot of us don't want to be selfish, and we don't want to be like, you know what, I'm having a rough day. Let's not do what our plans were, and let's focus on me. A lot of people are just, they're really, and myself as an example of that, our example of just being like, you know what, I don't want to burden anybody with my own thoughts, and I don't want to burden someone who's here to have a good time with me about how I'm really feeling. So I'm going to put on a mask, have fun, listen to some music, and they'll go leave, and I'll cry myself to sleep, and it'll be fine. It'll be how it is. It'll be like how it is every single day.
You can do both. I had a really bad time on PTSD, really bad time, a few years ago, and I was like a zombie, man. Like, I wasn't there, and I got tickets to see a couple of power metal bands. Went to see like Glory Hammer, went to see Beast in Black, I went to see Brothers in Metal. And my buddies who went with me, they were like, you're coming with us. And I was just like, I'm really not well. They're like, no, you're coming with us. That wasn't a question. And they supported me. My friend was basically like had me by the arm, just guiding me around the London Underground. And I was just like, so out of it. And my buddy, when he saw me, because he was in London at the time, he saw me, he was like, Jesus Christ, this is the worst I've seen you, but we're going to have a good time. You might not have a good time, but we're still doing it, because if you don't, you'll regret it. And I was like, and they literally dragged me out. They literally dragged me out of the house statements for this. And it wasn't the best gig I've been to, because I just wasn't in the right headspace. But I'm so glad I went. I'm so glad I went. And I didn't feel how good it was at the time for me, but it was good for me. That was it. You don't feel good when you take the paracetamol, to painkillers, but you do feel good later on, don't you? And that's what it felt like. The act of doing it, I wasn't enjoying it when I was there, but going to the gig with my friends did help me recover from that. And, they knew I was in a bad state. They knew how bad it was. We didn't have to talk about that. They could see. If they're your friends, they'll know. They'll know. But having those
And
people around and to take you out was just wonderful, man. It was just a really real sweet thing.
and that is that is something very special to have as a support system, because not a lot of people have that support system where it's like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm not doing good and I don't want to go out, but then to have not only to feel safe in a space to say those things, but then to also have someone to be like, I don't care, we're going to take you out and you're going to go out and you're going to get some fresh air and you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
It's the power of not only music, but of friendship. And I think when you have more friends and more connections and you're more open in a space like heavy metal and in this scene, you just get that even more friends.
And that's why I think what's started, because it's not just us, it's not just you. This has been a lot of different people doing it. It's almost like happened on a cultural level for us. We've realised that we are a culture of brutal honesty, but we need to be a little bit more brutally honest with each other, don't we?
Yeah.
You know? And we need to, if you are a gig, and say I'd love it if people had our t-shirts and they're almost like permission to talk to me. You know, come on, I'm heavy metal therapy, you're having a rough time, come and talk to me. Have a beer, have a dance, have a mosh. Come on.
Yeah. Let's talk about some. Let's talk some emotion right now. Let's have a beer.
Yeah.
Let's cry together. Let's just hang out.
Let's cry together, and you'll be
and talk punk rock. Yeah.
Let's talk punk rock, man. You know, and you'll be shocked. And the thing is, you don't really have to tell everyone your life story.
No, you don't.
To say, how are you? I'm really rough at the moment. I'm really rough.
But you see these patches on my sweater, so you know I'm a metal fan, so you know how I'm feeling, so you know I don't want to talk about it, so I know that you know how I need you to respond to me right now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some fucking Slayer.
Yeah. That's it. An awful time. I want to die, but also
Dude, but you know what though? That is all of this just wraps up the beauty of this community, man, and how special this is. And when you are on the outside of this community, it is, and I see it, it is very, very normal to be like, they're dark, they're evil, I don't know what they believe in, but these...
I mean, we are, but...
But it's like, but we get each other, and we're there for each other, and it's like, if we see someone in the pit fall down, what do? We fucking pick them up. And we pat them on the back, and then push them again. You know what I mean? you see someone fall up, you pick them up and push them again. Because you want them just to get back in the pit and have the greatest fucking night of their life.
Yeah.
And we get it. We get it. And that is a beauty of music, but also of heavy metal in this community, and something that you are a part of and building, something that I am trying to play a very, very small part of and build. And
well, mate.
You guys are fucking killing it, man. People can come to you and express these things, and they feel understood. And I think,
and we're spreading out to other areas now. Our next project is we're going to be hopefully training tattoo artists, because they have this thing like I don't know about America, like UK, a lot of bar staff and a lot of barbers got trained in mental health, kind of talking about mental health, but not a lot of tattoo artists do. Now, tattoo artists are very. There's a guy we know, Mark Pearson, who did a study, and every tattoo artist he interviewed had someone disclose some form of mental health problem, abuse, to the point that one of the tattoo artists even intervened, sat someone down and said, if you go back to that man, you will die. So tattoo artists
interesting. I haven't heard that.
Real close proximity to people in a very personal way.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping to get on with training a few up in a couple of mental health resources and how to we're a good start, because Some do feel really under-equipped for it. And bear in mind, while they're having these really deep conversations, they're also doing works of art. So they are amazing people, tattooist
Yeah.
artists. They really are. So that's one
Yeah.
of our new projects, hopefully branching into
Wow.
that. Because again, it's another facet of the community, isn't it? It's another part of our community. Tattoos are very important to metalheads. You know,
Yeah.
it's very rare. I consider myself having very few tattoos. Um, but whereas, it's just always gone hand in hand, hasn't it? Tattoos and metal music, because
Yeah.
we
Absolutely.
wear our lives on our skin.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Ben, we
Yeah.
have we have talked about a lot of different subjects and about how we feel on
Holy
a lot of,
shit, for like 2.5 hours.
yeah, on a lot
It's
of
like
different
1 a.m.
things.
here.
And but I feel like we definitely hit a lot of really big
Yeah.
conversations and a lot of personal conversations and a lot of things that people are a little afraid to talk about. And I think the more they're talked about, the more that other people will talk about them and reach out to places like Heavy Metal Therapy or listen to episodes of Heavy Metal Breakdown and just be like, you know what, these creatives and these artists have used their pain as something very creative and something to help get them through these hard times and flip it into what they're passionate about. And I hope that anybody listening to any of these episodes can take something very personal out of this, because music and art are extremely powerful. They are more powerful than you can ever even think of. And the artists that come to mind have all relied on art and music and just the creative world on saving them, and do that. Always have that as a resort to before anything else. Just think about it and think about how you can use it to write a song or to make a painting or to make a movie or whatever it is, or even if it's just a sketch to put on your wall to remind yourself of of how much you've been through. um that's all we want. That's all we want. We want you here. We want you to tell your story. We want you here. um So Ben, I can't even thank you enough, man, for
Oh, thank you.
being part of starting something that just offers a little bit of hope, dude. Because there's so many people that don't have that, who don't have the hope. And with resources like yourself and the little things that I'm trying to do and what everybody else is trying to do, I mean, it's so powerful, and we got to keep doing it. Because we don't know who it's going to affect. And everybody, please keep going. Please keep going.
Yeah.
We need you here. We need your art. We need you here. If you need any help, reach out to Heavy Metal Therapy. They can help you with resources and talk to you and get you through what you need to get through. And reach out to myself and my crew here. We're here for you too. And that's why we're here. Metal fans, Slipknot fans, Mudvayne fans, Linkin Park, Chester Bennington fans, reach out to us. We want you. We need you. Right,
Taylor
Ben?
Swift fans.
Taylor.
We'll take it. Fuck it. We'll take it. Yeah. Got to get in the pit though. You got to really fuck it up to shake it off.
Taylor
we
Swifties,
are.
get over here. We want you. It's so
When
funny
we
how
got-
a lot of the Swifties are turning their back on Taylor Swift with this latest album. Have you heard that?
No, right.
Yeah, a lot of Taylor Swift fans
Weirdly,
are
I've
upset
seen
about this
Taylor
latest
Swift
album.
because she played like down the road from me, but she played with the Foo Fighters. It was like a free gig. And I really wanted to see the Foo Fighters.
Interesting.
So I
Wow.
randomly seen Taylor Swift. I wouldn't normally know. I gotta say she was okay. I'm gonna stop talking about this. For my credibility.
She actually is pretty cool. She's pretty cool. I remember I saw her. I did an MTV gig like 20 years ago, and like she was like one of the openers or like an opener before the opener or something. I'm like, this girl's pretty cool. And now looking back at her like this time, I'm like, holy shit, this girl huge.
I used to see Bring Me the Horizon when they were the band that wasn't even the opening band.
At Warped
They
Tour.
were the band you called when the opening band
Yeah.
couldn't make it. You know, they were like they sort of turn up in all their gear with like shit little PAs, and they'd be like,
Yeah.
fucking get on the
They were
set.
like the 1 p.m. like side
Yeah,
stage at Warped Tour every year or something like
yeah,
that.
and now they're massive, and I'm like it blows my mind. But
Yeah.
yeah, but guys, we are we are whether or not you like it, you are part of the metal community. You're
Yeah,
part of our
you are.
culture, and even if you don't give a fuck about yourself, we do.
Yeah, we do. Don't ever think that no one cares, because you have two places right here that do.
Mm.
Well, Ben, I can't even tell you how much this has meant to me, man. I love
A
talking,
lot of things.
music and heavy metal and UK London. I have a very special place in my heart for London.
Yeah.
I ran the London Marathon a couple years ago. And it
No.
was the best run I've ever had in my entire life. I've done New York and
Yeah.
LA and San Francisco and Berlin and I've done so many, but London was my best time and the best run I've ever had. So London holds a very,
Well,
very special place in my heart.
give us a shout if you're down there, mate. I will try not to have a PTSD relapse, but if I, but if I do, you can guide me around the track. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, next time I'm in London, I'm hitting you up. We need to hang out. We
Yeah.
need to talk. We need to talk mental health. We also need to talk music and Slipknot and everything
Yeah.
else that's going
And
on.
horror films,
And
because
horror films,
secretly,
absolutely.
if I could have any life, I'd be Bruce Campbell. I'd be.
Evil Dead.
I could be any man. Yeah.
It's Ben Ryan in Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening to another episode of Heavy Mental Breakdown. This was a very unique episode. We did not speak with a rock band or a heavy metal band and breaking down lyrics. We talked to somebody who was in the heavy metal scene and trying to make a difference in Ben Ryan and heavy metal therapy. And if you need anything, please reach out to them, reach out to us. That's the whole goal of this whole thing, is we want you to feel like you have a place to be yourselves and to talk about whatever you need to. And even if you want to talk about Linkin Park or Limp Bizkit, we're still here for you. Or even if it's Creed, we'll still hear you out. Right?
We
Ben?
we will still Creed. Yeah, yeah. We will still listen to Creed. I will. With arms wide open, we will listen to Creed.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Heavy Metal Breakdown. This was another great episode. Please, 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 please go follow Heavy Metal Therapy. They're a great organization doing some amazing things. And maybe follow Heavy Mental Breakdown if you're there too. Thank you so much, Ben Ryan, for doing this. We appreciate you, man. And best of luck to everything that you've got coming up, dude, because you guys deserve it all.
You too, mate. And I'll see you at the Heavy Mental Breakdown festival, which you're gonna do.
It's gonna be called the Breakdown Festival with like My Chemical Romance headlining and some crazy stuff going on. But I'll see you there, man.
Cool, Creed.
We'll call it Creed. All right, go follow Heavy Metal Therapy now. Please go do it.